Hello and welcome to Stretford Paddock. My name is Joe. That is Jay Motti. This is the Manchester United versus Newcastle watch-along. A chance to bounce back, regain the trophy, revisit the final. Yeah? We beat them once, Jay, under Ten Hag in the Cup. We'll beat them again.
Do you regain it or do you retain it? Are you regaining it or is it just retention? What is it?
Well, we haven't actually got it. They don't give it you, do they? We're so precious about those trophies that you don't actually keep it. You just get a little knockoff one that's the size of the Ashes.
Are you saying that one that we saw in Vegas wasn't the real one?
No, they never are. The real one's probably in the British Library or something, or the British Museum. You know what I mean? They've got a copy of every trophy.
Excuse me, librarian. Can you show me where you keep the Carabao cups?
Yeah. Joining us today, we'll have Scotty at half-time with his opinion, with some stats, with all of that, with his sort of Ten Hag out views. We'll get to that later. I'll let him speak for himself. But also joining us today is our resident Geordie, Newcastle fan. From behind the desk, it's producer Ethan. How you doing, mate?
Hello everyone.
You're in like a little spaceship there.
Yes,
all them wires and everything. Woo!
Imagine him on a spaceship. Do you remember when they sent that monkey out into space first of all?
Let's tread carefully here, because he is an employee.
That. It's not like that. It's better than that. Like the dog.
Did Like the dog die in space?
It's not alive now. No.
No, in space did she come back and all that? Hey. Whatever happened to Like the dog? That's my question. Ethan.
Hello.
We'll get to your team in a minute. Should we talk about the Manchester United team? And then we'll get your take on the Newcastle team, because you care about them losers.
Oh,
Go on. What happened to Like the dog?
Like the dog, who was sent into space, only survived about 5 to 7 hours after liftoff before dying of overheating and panic.
Wow. That is so mean. Panic. Let's just send the dog into space and kill it.
Dying of overheating and
panic. That's the worst thing to die of, panic. Like,
just a bit.
Oh
my God, I'm dead.
Anyway.
Sorry.
Let's have a look at the team. Is this sending us into a panic?
Let me just thrash through it, Jay.
Go
Onana. We've got Dalot, Lindelof, Maguire and Reguilon. It's not everyone's first choice back four, but it is a back four for the first time in quite a while. There's a left back, there's two centre backs, and there's a right back.
Yeah, makes
Something
sense.
to be proud of. We've got a midfield three, completely changed from the weekend of Hannibal, Casemiro and Mount. I want to get into that midfield because weirdly that excites me quite a lot. And then we've got a front three of Garnacho, Martial and Anthony, the likes of your Højlunds, your Rashfords, your Bruno Fernandezes, your Amrabats, all relegated to the bench, rested, dropped. I suppose that kind of depends. If we win, they were rested. If we lose, they were dropped. And there's another crisis at Manchester United. What do you make of that team?
I think that midfield is stronger than the one he played against City.
Yep.
I know obviously you can argue that Casemiro wasn't fit, so it makes sense. But I've been dying to see Hannibal in this team since he was subbed against Galatasaray. I don't think he's played since, has he? I thought he was very good against Burnley. He was obviously very good when he came on against Brighton. And I think he does a job for us. And I would play Amrabat. I've been saying... Hannibal, sorry. I've been saying this for ages. Like, what's him back in the team? Yeah. And I just hope if he does perform today, he gets another chance against Fulham or he gets another chance in the league, because I think it's time to start giving this kid more minutes. Obviously, Garnacho for Rashford. I said it in the news on Monday. Thought it was time to drop Rashford. I love the kid, but he's having a stinker of a season. So it's time to take him out of the firing line. And you can't keep playing Rasmus Højlund. So Martial coming in makes sense, because Rasmus Højlund is giving his all, but he's also running himself into the ground. He's still, I think, got some slight injury concerns. I think there's a little bit so that his back's not 100%.
There's a hint, isn't there?
Yeah.
Some certain phrases and quotes after the international break.
It's bad form. You buy a 20-year-old and you just play him every single minute of every game, even when he's not scoring. It's not a good look. And Anthony, he needs to step up sooner or later, because I'm getting to the point where I'm sick of the sight of him.
Yeah. Just on a few of those things, it is good, I think, almost. And I'd not really put it together until I'm seeing that lineup, and I see Newcastle's lineup as well, which is important to this whole equation, because they've rotated, and I think 8 changes to their weekend.
Because they drew it into with Wolves.
Yes,
at the weekend, so
maybe you could say they needed to make some changes. But again, the point I'm trying to make is United could have done with resting Rashford, or let's say dropping Rashford, Bruno. Maybe dropping Højlund would be unfair because he's put in decent performances even though he's not scored. McTominay could do with being dropped. Certain players who aren't playing tonight needed dropping. Do
you know what?
We can sort of mask it as we're rotating for the cup. It's
perfect. You can, because you say to Marcus, "You're not playing today because I'm rotating." That's why Rasmus is out as well.
Yeah.
And you go, "Okay, yeah, sound makes sense." because obviously Rasmus Højlund would be starting if this was a cup final or whatever. So, yeah, it gives you the sort of Sir Alex Ferguson school of excuses where you can go, need you for Saturday, so big game for you this Saturday. You better make sure you're ready for that one because you ain't playing tonight. Ethan.
Hello, Joe.
You know more about Newcastle than anyone in this room.
Anyone in the world, some might argue.
Some would argue,
that.
They'd be wrong.
Well, I would argue that.
Right.
Would you?
No,
do you love Newcastle, do you?
Oh, I bloody love Newcastle.
So much so you moved away from there at the earliest opportunity.
There's not a lot of jobs over there.
Do you think you know more about Newcastle than Veronica Dunn?
I've not heard of Veronica
Right, well,
Dunn.
she's the Lord Mayor of Newcastle, so you might want to...
Oh, you don't even know who the Lord Mayor of Newcastle is? Pathetic. Eh? What do you make... Can you talk us through your team? Sorry for shouting.
Yes, of course, Jay.
Oh, look, there's an absolute... Sorry to interrupt you. There's an absolute legend. The greatest striker ever to play for Newcastle on the telly. Go on.
Andy Cole.
Andy Cole, yeah. Go on.
Well, Jay, Newcastle have got out a very heavily rotated team. And I must say, it's put a bit of fear into my soul the day after Halloween, which isn't too good. We've got Dubravka in goal. You'll know him. Yeah. Not too fond.
Yeah, shit, I almost forgot he played for us last
Mate,
season.
that is one of the most bizarre performances I've ever seen from a goalkeeper in his last game for United, where he let the ball go under his foot and then just managed to save it. And then he blasted the ball at Aaron Wan-Bissaka from about 10 yards as hard as he could. Sorry, go on.
Great pass.
Well, Nick Pope isn't even on the bench, so hopefully there's not an injury concern there. But Dubravka gets a nod. A massively changed back four. Livramento Kraft, who's been out for months, comes back into the team.
Yeah.
You've got Dummett and Target at the back.
Yeah.
Hall as well. Maybe a bit of a back five going on. I'm not too sure unless Hall comes into midfield. Sean Longstaff, Willock Ritchie. Again, Matt Ritchie in there. It's not giving me too much confidence, Joe. And Joe Linton and Gordon. So no recognised striker for Newcastle.
Yeah, that is interesting. I mean, obviously, Joe Linton used to be a striker about 4 years ago, but it's been a while since then. Why do you think you've rotated so much? Because no offence, but isn't this probably your best chance at a trophy? Like, it's not like you're saving yourselves for the league, is it? What do you think the method here is?
Well, of course, Newcastle are playing Champions League football like
but
yourselves.
you're not going to win it, are you? You haven't won a trophy in 60 years or whatever it is, 50 odd years.
Since 1969.
Yeah, exactly. So are you surprised that you've rotated this much, given that, as we saw last season, getting to the final, there's a chance you've already beat City. This could be a great cup run for you. And not to say you can't beat United because we're terrible. This team could easily beat us. But do you think rotating this much is wise? Would you have done that?
There's some decisions, Joe, I understand. Callum Wilson is made of glass. And we've recently lost Alexander Isaac. He's going to be out for a few weeks now, so you need to protect him. So I can understand that. That's why there's no recognised striker. Probably Anthony Gordon will be down the middle. He's been playing quite well at late. Right. But yeah, it is heavily rotated. Nick Pope played the last game against Manchester City in the Carabao Cup. He was quite important in that game. Dubravka comes in. He's a decent backup goalkeeper, but obviously I just think Nick Pope is significantly better. Yeah. The back four, Joe, that's where the fear really lies for me.
I don't know if you're seeing the same picture I am, but if you go on Newcastle's own Twitter and their team announcement picture is of Livramento, isn't it? Are you looking at that?
I'm looking at Sky Sports, but I can have a look at Livramento.
This picture, that's Livramento, isn't it?
That's Livramento, Joe, yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen a person look less like a professional footballer than that. He looks like a lad who you went to school with who didn't even watch football, who his nan or his stepdad bought him a Newcastle kit for Christmas, and he feels like he has to put it on to be polite. Like, he couldn't look less of a footballer if he tried, could he?
I feel like Tino Livramento, the Bournemouth manager Iriola, and Harry Maguire are all related in some way.
There is a little... Yeah, that's a good point. There is a little Harry Maguire there, and the Bournemouth manager. That's a good point. Just on United then, you're looking through that team. Obviously, I know you're not a United fan, but you see most games. You certainly see every team sheet for Manchester United. It's quite heavily rotated, but is there... To me, looking at that, there's almost a bit of optimism of like... Actually, I'd like to see Reguilon in this team. I'm looking forward to seeing Casemiro back and hopefully, shepherding Hannibal through a performance. Mason Mount from the start in his preferred position is quite exciting to me. Like Garnacho giving Rashford a rest. There's actually a few things that excite me more than the first choice starting 11 almost for United. Does that worry you? What do you think when you look at that United team?
Well, obviously, yeah, like you said, I do watch a lot of United, Joe, and I agree with what Jay said before, actually, about the midfield. I think this is a stronger midfield, maybe, than the one you played against Manchester City. I really liked Hannibal Mejri's start of the season, and he's missed a few games. I'm not too sure as to why, but I really think he could have kept playing for a bit, kept his momentum going. I think that's a good addition back into the side. Mason Mount, we've not seen a lot of. Maybe this is a good opportunity for him to really find his feet. Casemiro's made a poor start of the season, Joe. Obviously, he picked up a recent injury, but I've not been convinced of him of late. But still, nonetheless, I think that as a 3, with the energy of Hannibal, with the work rate of Casemiro to win back the ball, he's a ball player as well. Mason Mount can carry things. He's a bit of a catalyst. He can get things going. And for that front 3, quite a quick front 3. I know Martial's missed his pace and lost his pace a bit in recent years, but Garnacho and Antony on the wing, I think he can get the ball moved forward quite quickly, which could cause Newcastle some problems. And looking at Newcastle's team again now, I actually think it's probably a back 5, Drew. So how do you think that front 3 could combat a back 5? Do you think they can penetrate it quite well?
I'm slightly worried about that, I'll be honest. I do think that we struggle to find spaces in the final third at the best of times. So back 5 might really sort of test that. The one thing I will say is, with the likes of Casemiro, I know he's not prolific from outside the box, but Antony's got a shot on him occasionally as well. Mason Mount can hit one. Hopefully, maybe having that threat from the edge of the box will draw you out a little bit on those, the times United are holding the ball. But I don't know. You never know what you're going to get from United. I look at that team and think Newcastle might hold the ball at Old Trafford. We just saw a stat. We've got Sky in the background, obviously keeping an eye on the build-up. And it was minutes in the lead at Old Trafford so far this season. United had 29, Forest had 50, City had 50 or something like that. Brighton had 70. United don't dominate games at Old Trafford. So if you're sat back, let's say you get a goal and you sit back with a back 5, we're going to really struggle to break you down. I know you've rotated, and I think we've got a good chance. I favour us to win now. I've seen your team. But I don't look at it and go, yeah, we'll batter these. Look how shit they are. And with a back 5, that scares me a bit. Does that scare you, Jay?
Yeah, sorry, it's a bit of an issue with some kids' ticket. I was just helping him out.
Good on you.
Yeah, sorry, repeat the question.
Are you okay?
Yes.
Jay's come back all
flustered. I was a bit flustered then. I thought
Ethan was just saying that he reckons this could be a back 5 for Newcastle. And I said, if Newcastle get an early goal, the concept of that front 3 playing against a back 5 really worries me, because Garnacho is best at finding space between and behind defenders. Martial, I don't know what he's best at anymore. And Antony, he struggles to find space at the best of times. If they're sitting back deep with a back 5, that could be quite difficult to break down for United, couldn't it?
It could. I'm never a big fan of a back 5, though, to be honest with you. So if we're up against one, I'd still fancy us to cause them problems. The thing with Newcastle, and Ethan, you can explain, is Newcastle have players that I don't really rate, or I don't think much of, but you win a lot of football matches. They play their part in winning these football matches, so they must be good players. I think Longstaff, and players like Longstaff and Willock and
even Almiron,
Target, and Almiron has that mad purple patch, but other than that, I look at them and I go, they're just a bit neither here nor there for me. But they do seem to play a lot of games, and you win a lot of games, and you've been very successful under Eddie Howe. And I think a lot of those players that I'm seeing, or certainly a few of them, have played their part. So, yeah, I don't know. I think maybe Newcastle have some players that are a little bit underrated by rivals. Is that fair to say?
I think there's two things there, Jay. I think what Newcastle have when they have the strongest 11 is a really strong spine. They've got a top goalkeeper, Nick Pope. They've got Sven Botman, who obviously won the league in France. Really good centre-half. Bruno Guimaraes, I think, is a world-class midfielder. And then you've got someone like Isaac up top, who is, again, a top Premier League striker who can bring the ball forward as well from deep. So the spine's good. And then the second part is Eddie Howe has done an unbelievable job of making these ordinary players that you mentioned into the next level.
Yeah.
Sean Longstaff now, I would argue, and the stats to back this up, he's maybe
the best Longstaff brother. Are you going to stick your neck out
that far
and say, of the two, he's edged Matty?
Poor Matty's now unemployed. So
He's still the Johnny to
Is he
Alistair
worth
Brownlee's
the 50 million?
Brownlee.
Yeah, sorry. Is he worth the 50 million yet that you quoted us in 2017 or whatever it was?
He's not worth the 50 million, but I can tell you what, if Sean Longstaff keeps performing like this for this season, wouldn't be surprised if Gareth Southgate called him up to an England squad soon. He's really important to this Newcastle team. It's his work rate. And the thing that Eddie Howe says about him, and he's not really done this, and he's never really done this in his career, but he says he believes he's a goal-scoring midfielder. And I always thought, no, he's not. But he's added that to his game recently.
Goal against PSG.
Well, exactly true. And that, and also the goal the other night as well. It's this routine of Newcastle with Trippier down the right side. Longstaff loses his man in midfield. The ball's played through, and he scores that goal. He scored, I think it was against Burnley the other day. It was a carbon copy against PSG. And in previous seasons, we might have that move underway, but it doesn't go in. But he's added that now. So like I said, the ordinary players, the Almirons, the Longstaffs or whatever, the ordinary players are now playing at their very best, which is why Newcastle are such a good team at the minute.
That's what you get with confidence. I think to get the best out of players, obviously tactics plays a big role, and I talk about confidence all the time, but they're playing with such confidence. That PSG game, watching it, from about 6 or 7 minutes in, I thought either Newcastle are winning this or PSG are getting lucky, because you could just tell they were just flying in that game. I know it was a couple of weeks ago now, but they are playing with confidence. And in contrast, we are seeing some of the worst confidence from United sides that I've seen in years. Like, it looks like, you know, managers getting sacked levels of confidence amongst the squad at the minute, doesn't it? How can we turn that around?
You know one thing, and there's a graphic that's just come on the tally now. We've got to start scoring goals.
Yeah.
Because what happens when you talk about confidence, when attackers, the goals have all dried up, it seeps through to the team. And you can feel it. You can feel it as a fan.
Yeah.
You know, like against City when we had was it McTominay had that chance early doors or in the first half, and we don't score, and then you think, how many more chances are we going to get?
Yeah.
Because we just, we don't get that many, and then the ones we do, we're not really taking. And I think that must get in the players' heads, where they're like, what's going on? And playing that pass, is it worth playing that pass, or should I shoot myself because we're not scoring? It just affects everything, doesn't it? It sort of seeps through everything you do. You sort of questioning certain passes and, whether to have a shot, whether not to. And I feel like we need our strikers, our attackers, I should say, to start finding the back of the net. And I think that if you look at Martial, who's been given the chance tonight, he has scored. He has had seasons where he has scored.
Yeah.
He has had seasons where he scored a lot of goals. I know it was a few years ago he scored 23 goals, whatever it was. But he's capable of scoring goals. So he needs to step up when he's picked. Anthony, seriously, I give him till Christmas, because if he's not sorted out by Christmas, I'd be looking at just dropping him, because in all honesty, I know he does lots of good things with possession and tracking back and all the rest of it, but I'm a bit old school, and I think an attacking player should get you goals and assists.
Yeah.
And he went 6 months last season, I think it was, with no goals and no Premier League assists. From his, he had that purple patch when he came, then he had I think it was 6 or 5.5 months without a goal and assist in the Premier League, and then picked it up a little bit. You can't have that. You can't have that 2 seasons in a row. He's got to start getting more goal involvements. It's all very well and good tracking back and tackling and keeping possession, all the rest of it, but you have to start scoring. You have to start assisting. You have to start being a threat, because I think teams are going to be looking at Anthony. I think the teams are going to be thinking, don't need to worry about him too much. The kid never scores or does anything, and you don't want that. So we need him to step up. We need Martial to step up tonight. And Garnacho, I rate Garnacho. I think his decision-making this season's got away from him a little bit. He doesn't seem to be picking the right pass. He seems to be holding onto the ball a little bit too long at times. But that's youth, and I think part of it is because his minutes are limited. He's probably trying a bit too hard at times. But I'd like to see him sort of make the most of his chance as well, because I like Alejandro Garnacho. I think he's a real talent. So there's 3 players there capable of doing more than what we've seen of him this season. Yeah. And I think they need to step up. And that also gives a little reminder to the likes of Marcus and Rasmus that it's not a given you're going to start every week.
No. And looking at Casemiro, obviously he's back. He's been poor all season, and I think you could say his form slipped after the Carabao Cup final. But certainly this season, he had some good games after the Carabao Cup final. He's not really had any yet this season.
There's a touch of the Pogba's in him a little bit, in the sense that, with Pogba, where you could go, you like, he had a lot of good games, Paul Pogba. I'm not saying he didn't, but it's like you could name the outstanding games Like, you could name them from memory.
Yeah.
You know, like with Keano, you could never do that, or with Brian Robson. But with Pogba, you could go, there was that time at Goodison, there was that time in the FA Cup semi-final, there was that time
against Tottenham.
Against Spurs, yeah. There was that time at the Etihad when he scored those 2 goals. And I feel like Casemiro's a little bit like that, where you go, there was a Carabao Cup final, there was Bournemouth away last season. Like, there was a lot of games where he didn't do a lot. Do you know what I mean? Especially towards the back end of last season.
Yeah.
Missed a lot of games through suspensions. Not entirely his fault. I think he was harshly judged by some of those cards. But this season, especially against Brentford, he was pretty poor. Now, me and you spoke about it, and I think you spoke about it with Steve on camera, about how in the past he has taken a little while to get going, even when he was at Madrid a few years ago. I remember reading a blog article about him saying, what's going on with Casemiro? Why is he taking so long to get going? And this was like the end of September. And I think that season they ended up winning the Champions League. So he can get going. And once he does get going, he's mint. I think the reason he's getting questioned a bit more now is because he's 31. And it's that magical number in it, 31, where people start saying, are you on the decline?
Yeah.
If he was 29, I don't think anyone would be worried.
No.
Or even 30. It's that 31
Yeah.
that gets everyone going, are we witnessing the beginning and the end of Casemiro? I think it's too soon to say that, though.
Yeah, and I think his performances this season have been so bad, some of them, like he's just been absolutely passed by, that he would have to have lost. Like, I know that, you know, you lose your legs or whatever, but that's generally a pretty gradual thing.
Yeah.
You don't go from being, at times last season, just dominant, like controlling the game, 7-8 tackles in some games. You don't go from that to being well out of position 5, 10, 15 times a game overnight. Like, he's not a German shepherd who's all of a sudden got arthritis in the hips and they're going to have to be put down. He's a human being who is aging, one day at a time like everyone else.
Yeah.
I think it has to be form related. That's like, if Rashford was 31 now, we'd be saying he's finished, wouldn't we? But because he's just turned 26, it's form. We know it's form. Yeah. I think I've got a feeling that it's the same with Casemiro. I don't think he's dropped off as much as he looks like he has. Okay. Because it wouldn't make sense. I don't think. I mean, other than maybe like Alexis Sanchez or someone like that, I don't think I've seen someone drop off this much so quickly. It is very rare. He's been like shit
without
season,
injury. Without an injury.
Yeah.
Like Owen Hargreaves, for example, got injuries, and that did for him. I get your point. But in terms of a player, you're right. Alexis Sanchez is a really good one. Yeah. Because he did fall off a cliff.
He's probably the worst I've ever seen, to be honest. Yeah. Maybe Hazard. But again, that was a physical problem.
He just piled on the weight, didn't he? Started eating pasties.
And got injured all the time.
Yeah. And also, for a DM, DMs, especially ones as talented as Casemiro, you change your game slightly, you adjust it slightly. Carrick was the master of it. Yeah. Michael Carrick, from the age of 31 to 34, was still doing it at top level because he just read the game so well. Yeah. That as long as, because he was still physically able to get around the pitch, he wasn't like, he hadn't piled on a load of weight and he couldn't move. No. Then he was able to just sort of compensate for his slight loss of pace by just preempting passes a little bit better. And I think that's maybe what Casemiro's got to do. Roy Keane spoke about it. Sort of stop being that box-to-box midfielder and became more of a DM towards the end of his career. And I think Casemiro, part of the problem might be we've almost gone the other way with him. We've tried to make him a box-to-box rather than a DM. And I think Eriksen has got to say, no, forget that. I know you've got 4 goals this season, whatever it is. No, he's a DM. Stick someone with legs next to him, like a Hannibal Medjbury, and let him do a little bit of running. You read the game, you stay in front of the defence, you give them that protection, you pick your passes, and then let Hannibal do the donkey work, for want of a better word. And then let Mason Mount as well, who's in front of you, to get forward, because that's what he should be doing. I feel like we've got these midfielders in this season, and Eriksen Hag's just gone a bit, I don't know, a bit weird with it all. Gone, right, Casemiro will make you an 8, Mount will make you a 6, Eriksen will try you as a 6 as well. It's like, oh, no, what are we doing here? Stop that.
I think you could be right. Obviously, we don't know. We're both just whatever. I don't think Ten Hag will have asked him to do that.
But that's what
we're seeing. That's what I mean.
I've seen Eriksen in a 6. I've seen Mount in a 6, and I've seen Casemiro.
No, Eriksen and Mount, I agree. Casemiro, I think, to me, he looks like a player that is enjoying scoring goals. Like, he's just like, fuck it. Like, and not just enjoying scoring goals, which obviously you would do, but you look at United last season, and we've talked about this so many times, but City got 94 goals in the league. This is just in the league. Arsenal got 88. Newcastle below us got 68. Liverpool below that got 75. Brighton below that got 72. We got 58. We got 30 less goals than the team one place above us. We got 10 less goals than the team behind us. Nearly 20 less goals than the team two. Like, I think Casemiro sits there and goes, when you've got Ronaldo and you've got either Hazard or Bale or whoever it is on one side, Ronaldo on the other side, Benzema up front, even Modric and Kroos who can chip in here and there. You don't need to venture forward. You don't need to help out. I think he plays for United and goes, I need to help out here because if I don't, we're not going to win.
Well, that you said that we were 30 goals or whatever it is and 20 goals behind some of our rivals.
Yeah.
How many goals did we get from right wing last season? How many goals did we get from our centre forward last season?
Yeah.
Like what? 3, 4 in the Premier League?
Let's have a look.
Like what did Anthony get in Premier League goals?
I'll have a look.
I'll tell you what Vegas got in Premier League
0.
goals. He got the same as me and you. None.
Let's do well there, aren't we?
Yeah. So when you look
Anthony got 4.
So between our right winger and our striker, we got 4 Premier League goals last season, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, no, you don't blame Casemiro for looking at going.
No.
Better go and help out. If you make a good point because that is woeful, and it's actually quite impressive. We finished 3rd.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, when we've got 2/3 of your attacking trio doing next to now.
This is what I keep saying, and I don't want to keep repeating myself, but United have got by far the best goals to points to goals ratio in the league last season. It is genuinely impressive that we managed to get 75 points from 58 goals. That's really hard.
Yeah.
Like the fact that David De Gea won the Golden Glove and we conceded so few goals. That's why we finished 3rd. Not because we scored loads. So you look at this season, and we've just seen before, Onana's conceded 23 and 14, and 3 or 4 of them I would blame him for. The rest is just we've defended terribly this season. That's why we're doing so badly. Because last year we barely conceded unless we were conceding 6. Do you know what I mean? They're like number of games we didn't concede in was massive.
Yeah.
But when we did concede,
it's so crazy that he won the Golden Glove.
Yeah.
And at Anfield and Etihad we conceded 13 goals.
Yeah. And yet he was quite poor and we conceded loads of goals.
And then for the 3 stanks, he doesn't get his contract renewed and no one comes in for him. It's insane. Ethan, do you love Andy Cole?
Sorry, news just in.
Go on.
Ben White scored a goal for Arsenal against West Ham. They are 1-0 down.
Good. Eve, is Andy Cole revered at Newcastle because he's your best ever striker?
Well, he is.
Or are you a bit bitter because he came to a bigger club?
No, I think he's revered. The thing is, Jay.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a younger. Can I use the word custodian? What does that mean, Jay?
Custodian.
Custodian. Yeah.
Someone who looks after things.
Stuff,
responsibility
for taking care or protecting.
Yeah.
A younger fan, a supporter.
Yeah,
I'd probably say. And I didn't. This is the same as Shearer, and I like them, and it's like, wow, the legends, but I never saw them.
Right.
My glory days were Demba Ba, Yohan Cabaye,
nice.
Papi Cisse,
Jonas Gutierrez.
Jonas Gutierrez. These are all big legends for me. So I appreciate these names you bring up, but these are the guys, I think.
Okay. That's
and Andy Carroll.
Class Carroll, yeah.
Did well getting you back up. That was his best ever season, that.
Didn't his car get petrol bombed or something? Wasn't he into all sorts? His Range Rover getting torched outside his house. Can we have a little bit of volume, please? Because I want to hear what Eddie Howe's got to say for himself.
Yeah, can we not? Ethan can pop his mic down for a little bit, and we'll get a bit of volume.
What are the comments saying? Because let's hear from some of the good folk who are involved in the chat, and also
I forgot Ivan Toney was at Newcastle.
Yeah. He got done for betting on him, didn't he? What are the comments saying?
The fool. They are saying loads of stuff. James Stewart says, my 3 favourite Paddock lads. Let's get a win. There you go, Ethan. A little positivity for you there. David Answer says, how young is he? How young is Ethan? 24? Yeah, 24 years old. Looks 12, but sounds 70.
You only missed out on seeing Newcastle win a trophy by what?
30 years.
31, 35 years, is it? Something like that?
How
many years has it been?
69, Jay.
69.
I got to see.
So that's 54 years.
We won the.
So you only missed out by 30 years.
They won the championship. You saw them win that.
2016.
Trophy of sorts, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, that's good.
Certainly something, isn't it?
2010 as well, so twice over.
Oh, you've won it twice?
Yep.
Oh, happy days.
Timmy says, why are they giving out the Arsenal score? Who cares? Are you such a Man United fan that you don't even know what like a league table or a cup competition is? Is it what? What do you mean? Like He only cares about how many points
If
United
United
wins.
win tonight 2-1, and
Yeah.
we say it's 2-1, he'll be fuming. We've named the one. Why are you giving us the Newcastle score?
Why do we care if Newcastle have scored or not?
Like, I don't care about United. I like that, bro.
I do.
only
I
come to
respect
see
that.
United.
Literally only come to see United. Like he doesn't even care about anything else. As far as he's concerned, there has only been 20 football leagues.
Did you see that story?
Seasons.
Sorry to digress.
No, go on.
I've just noticed Anthony Gordon seems to have cut things in his socks, unless that's the pattern.
Yeah.
That story that was in the Daily Mail about United kits being too tight and the socks being tight.
Yeah.
Like, what is that? And they had to order another top for Onana, who's having to wear a replica at the minute or something.
Yeah.
I think, was it slow news day or what?
I don't understand it. Because you remember that like Tottenham kit from like sort of 2010 era, where basically it was Jermaine Defoe in a bit of cling film.
Yeah.
Do you remember that when their kits were like sort of hazardously tight?
Yeah.
Like there were sort of eyes bulging when they were wearing these
Yeah.
kits. And at the time I remember it being, and I think was it Cameroon had a similar one in the World Cup that was like literally you would have to get a physio in to take it off him. It was like Sandy from Greece, right? And I remember at the time it was considered this good new idea because it stops people grabbing your shirt and you're less wind resistance and all this stuff. And then now, kit's a bit tight, that's why I'm shit.
I don't even know, right?
I don't get it.
That is an actual,
how tight are they?
An actual thing. I have my suspicions. I think it was Mike Keegan on it who
Well, there's a couple of people
wrote
that
the
ran it.
article.
So
But
I
did
think it must have come from United.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like a bit of a nothing to me. I mean, I'm not here to defend Manchester United. There's a lot of things that are a complete shambles at the club. But I don't know, the socks being a bit tight just seem like, I don't know, it just seemed like nothing.
Yeah, because another thing, when you talk about too tight, do you remember when players, when you could put as much tape as you wanted on, and they'd have tape like wrapped round like 7 or 8 times, covering 3, 4, 5 inches of leg at a time. That used to be so tight when you put that tape on. Like, I just think the socks are a bit tight. Oh, what's the worst? You're not going to get deep vein thrombosis. That's all you get from a tight sock. My mum wears them on the aeroplane. Like, you'll be all right. It doesn't... I don't like... So, this is it. So, United struggling with kit issues. Home socks too tight and haven't been used since Game 2. Onana's keeper jersey is too small, so he's been wearing a replica. Sorry, have you considered buying a bigger size? What do you mean it's too small? Surely there's one that's just bigger. What? Unless it's like, even on the extra large ones, the wrists are the size of a Rolo.
He's big, but he's not ridiculously big.
No.
Like, he's not that big.
No.
Where you think he's got like triple XL and it's still too small for him.
Yeah.
What? Like, that's just
He's
nonsense.
not Andre the Giant.
I know,
is he?
I don't
He's
get
Andre
that.
Onana. Like, he's not. How big is he? What is he? He's like 6'3" or something.
Something
isn't he?
like that. He's probably about, I don't know, 16, 17 stone maybe.
Yeah, 1.9 meters, probably. Yeah.
He's
6'3".
Yeah.
He's like me.
ridiculous.
He's my height, my size.
Like, honestly, it just seems, I don't know. It seems a bit of a nothing story, that, for me.
Obviously, some United players must have been saying, these are a bit tight, they're a bit shit. But it doesn't. Do you think that's affecting performances?
No, of course not.
No.
And also, like, the Arsenal players, Bukayo Saka does it with his socks, cuts holes in his socks. Rooney made his debut by cutting a hole in his top. Like, it's nothing new, like players altering the kit or some players changing the kits or whatever. I think it just seems to me to be a bit of a slow news day.
Do you think United are so tight and so skint and the Glazers are so cheap that we've actually got knockoff kits that they tried to give them off the back of a lorry?
Like,
Here's your new kits. Why is the sponsor?
There's a guy who's got a car boot in Week.
Yeah.
Go and see him for your kit. What?
Why is the sponsor Cream Viewer? What's Cream Viewer?
Don't put them in the wash, by the way. Don't put them in the wash, whatever you do.
Yeah, they're all peeling off.
Yeah, forget that. Just scrub them in the sink. You know what you've been told. Like, it is, yeah. I think that the trouble, right, we're at this stage now. I think you mentioned this last season, or it might have been the season before, the Ragnick, where when everything's rubbish and everything's, like, anger-inducing and things going wrong, you can start criticising or claiming anything. You can say things like, oh, you know what, the tyre pressure, the coach is dead low because they forgot to pump the tyres up because the club's just a shambles. And people jump on it and go, that's true. That's how much of a shambles we are. The players are taking ages to get to the games because the tyre pressure's low, because we don't fill them up enough, because no one's in charge of it, because we haven't got any organisation at the club, because there's no structure and everything's rubbish under Ten Hag and the Glazers. Yeah. It's one of those where you can just say anything and people
the Glazers sold all the oxygen inside Old Trafford. they've sold it to themselves for profit and then pumped it back in, but they've accidentally pumped it in upside down. And the players can't breathe.
Yeah,
it's just and people are like, that sounds like us.
You can make it up like, oh, the players are knackered because like Marcus isn't playing tonight because he went trick or treating last night to try and get some extra money.
He did.
And like, oh, I heard that. Yeah, someone saw him in Withenshaw.
Yeah, putting a razor blade in an apple.
Yeah, like it's just one of them where everything's rubbish, so you can say anything and everyone believe you. The trouble is, some things are true. Like obviously, we're not exactly a well-oiled machine, but I think some of it is just a bit nonsensical.
I went on Talk Sport last night. A little phone.
Absolute sellout.
And
never get me doing that.
And Jamie O'Hara was asking me about.
I like him, off camera.
Do you? Yeah,
he's all right. Did you chat to him before?
Yeah.
He's all right, innit?
It was Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy.
Yeah, they're both all right. And when the mics are on, he just turned into absolute muppet.
And Jason Cundy, I can't remember which one it was, but he kept calling me. It was either Smudge. Or like, what was the other one? I can't remember what it was. But instantly,
Alan
just
Smith is Smudge, though, isn't it?
Yeah, or like Smudger or something, and but like I'm his best mate.
Yeah.
Like, and I think I spoke to him once. But he was asking me about Rashford going to China White on Sunday night
for his birthday.
For his birthday, friends and family. They don't know what time he left. They don't know whether he drank. All they know is he turned up on time for training on Monday. What a disgrace!
Right.
What do you make of it?
Again, not bothered.
Yeah.
And people go, oh, Jay, it's because it's Marcus. If Anthony did that or Sanchez did that, you'd be going off your head. If a guy's gone to a club or whatever for his birthday and he's turned up training the next day on time and the manager ain't got an issue with it, and let's face facts, this manager doesn't exactly take things lightly when people bend the rules. Do you know what I mean? Then I ain't really got a problem with it.
Yeah.
I mean, these stories have been doing the rounds for years when players have been spotted out or whatever. Sounds like it was a pre-arranged thing or where I'm guessing that the manager didn't have an issue with it. Yeah. So I haven't really got an issue with it. I think the problem you've got with Marcus at the minute is because his form's so bad, people are looking at any excuse to have a dig. Some of it's warranted, some of it isn't. I don't think this is warranted, personally. No. 26-year-old goes to a club in Manchester for his birthday, then turns up for training on time. And I don't even think some of these kids, he's 26, but I don't even think some of these lads get on it properly. Yeah. I don't think it's like when me or you probably celebrated our 26, we got absolutely levered.
Yeah. Well, they were saying that to me about, this is the culture. I was like, I'm going to say, football was all about the players going out, win, lose or draw in the 90s. Football culture is less about boozing now than it ever has been.
Culture shifted in football. Like, there's loads of things that go on in football now that have never gone before. A lot of the players are mates with each other from rival teams because of social media, because they've got brand deals together, because of all sorts of different reasons. There's more camaraderie at international level than there probably was back in the day. So there's that. I don't think there's a massive drinking culture in football anymore. I'm not saying players don't drink, but it doesn't seem to be like it was when we was growing up. It was much worse. Yeah. So I do think certain things have changed. I get, I think their angle. I've done it before where you've gone on something like Talk Sport. I think I did it with Sam Matterface where it was, again it was Marcus and he dropped out of the England squad, and it was like, this is a disgrace or this is an outrage sort of thing, and you're like, not really. Yeah.
In fairness, Jason Cundy agreed with me.
Did he?
That who cares if you turn up if you turn up for work on time, and he wasn't pictured with a City shirt on being sick in the toilets, was he? He just was there, someone saw him and he left. And he turned up. Like, there's one thing stumbling out at 3 a.m. bladdered, there's another thing indiscreetly, out discreetly, work the next day. I just don't see the problem personally.
No, it's one of them. Again, it's that whole thing in it where when things are going badly for you, people are going to sort of fire shots at you. If this was last season when he was in the middle of his goal scoring record, no one would care. It's because he's scored, one goal all season that people are going to go, he scored one goal all season and look, he's out partying. Yeah. It's kind of expected, but I'm not really bothered.
No. Nicholas Walker says, I think the performance is more important than the result tonight. Interesting. I don't mind winning/losing 1-0 as long as we see a game plan and some control. I think the opposite, personally.
You just think get that win?
I don't think... From Sunday to now, and what we've seen so far this season to now, I can't imagine a radical change in performance. Can you? I can't imagine all of a sudden it's just going to click.
No.
Like, I think it's going to be a steady return to form.
Yeah.
And if we can snag as many wins on the way to that as possible, I'll be happy with it. Obviously, I'd love to control the game and win it. I'm not saying that I wouldn't want to. I don't agree with you. But I think for me, let's just win the game. And then, by the time the next round rolls around or whatever, lucky draw, next thing you know, you're in the quarterfinal and it's January. And by then, your form kind of picked up and then you can really push on. But for now, I think it's going to be, unfortunately, a sort of slow slog back to form. I can't see it just snapping together like last season after the Brighton game, can you? Or the Brentford game?
No, I can't. But I think this is a bit of an ideal opportunity, for United and tonight. Because that Newcastle team, whilst they've got some good players in and some players that are slightly underrated, it's not the strongest team they could have put out. And I think that it's still a big club in it, Newcastle. It's a big team to face.
Yeah.
So if you get a win over Newcastle, I think it looks good. And it's not like, oh, well, you've only beat... like you beat... I don't know, say it was Forest or Sheffield United or whatever. People go, oh, it was only Sheffield United, whatever. But it was Newcastle who were one of the better teams in the Premier League. So it's a good opportunity, it's just whether they take it. Yeah. I'm just hoping, like I said to you earlier, that some of these players who are fringe players who've been given a chance tonight just step up, man. And also some of the players that sort of, would expect to start when everyone's fit. Mason Mount probably thinks he should start when everyone's fit, and he probably should, the amount of money we've spent on him. So he needs to step up. Casemiro's not having a good season, he needs to step up. Anthony, I've already spoken about him. Maguire, who says he's been doing everything right and he's had some good performances in the last few weeks, he's another one. He's got to give the manager something to think about, because when Martinez and Shaw are back, is Harry Maguire going to keep his place? I doubt it, but you never know.
Yeah. Just want to talk, just in one of, in one of the other games, Fulham have scored against Ipswich, it's 1-0. Just want to briefly mention Ipswich, because obviously United, under Solskjaer, the biggest issue everyone had, or it sort of became, it was, the opinion was so entrenched in social media and the media that it just became fact, was that we didn't have good coaches, we didn't have the tactics, we couldn't, compete at the top level or even that level below that, really, because the manager wasn't there. And I still now do tend to agree with that. However, Kieran Maguire is now the manager of Ipswich, who was United's head coach, I think, at the time, or certainly one of the main coaches. Got them promoted last season, in his first season there. They're now second in the Championship, and I think they've got the fourth best ever start to a Championship season. I think they've won 9, drawn 2, lost 2, something like that. I can't remember the exact stats, but it's the fourth best ever start to a Championship season. I know it's not the same level, he's obviously a good coach, isn't he? Do you think that you can compare sort of how that's sort of evolved since Solskjaer left, looking at United now? Because I've seen people having a go at Mitchell van der Gaag. I've seen people having a go at
Benny McCarthy.
Yeah, Benny McCarthy, Steve McLaren, and pointing fingers at people. But they're clearly good coaches, aren't they? And do you think that what he's doing at Ipswich is almost a sign of these people can be good and you still have bad performances? We kind of have to get through this, don't we?
Do you know what it is with coaching? I honestly don't think anyone knows.
No.
I don't.
I agree.
Remember when Marcus was banging him in last season, everyone, Benny McCarthy.
Yeah, he's done it.
Benny McCarthy, that. How do you know that?
Yeah.
He's worked with him. He's giving them goals. He's got him. He might have done. He might not have. You don't know.
Yeah.
He could just be a player who's just hit a mad vein of form and he just keeps riding it. Do you know what I mean? What has Benny McCarthy stopped doing with him what he was doing last season then? Has he stopped him now? Is he not coaching anymore?
Benny McCarthy's forgot how to coach.
Yeah, he's still there, isn't he? He's still coaching, so why is it not working this season? You just don't know. It might have been. My point is you don't know. You don't know what Kieran Maguire was doing. Kieran McKenna, sorry. You don't know what Michael Carrick was doing. It's yes, you get these little stories come out, but again, how much do you know about these stories? How much true are they? Who's leaking these stories if they're not even just being made up anyway? So it's always difficult to know unless you're there. You can see what a manager does because you can see the results on the pitch. You can see the manager giving interviews. You can see his tactics. You can see in his in-game management. You can physically see what he is doing. With coaches, you can't always see that. Everyone loved Brian Kidd in 1998. Yeah, everyone loved him when he went to. I know he obviously lost a little bit of his luster when he went to City via Leeds as well, of all clubs. But when he left in 98, everyone was a bit right, he went to Blackburn. Steve McLaren came in. No one's going, mate, he's the guy. We won the treble that year. Yeah. Steve McLaren had been at the club for about 6 months and we'd won the treble. Yeah. That's amazing. But no one knew. And I was watching that Beckham documentary the other day and they interviewed Gary Neville for it. And I think it was, and obviously Beckham. And they were talking about when Carlos Queiroz came in, they didn't know who he was. Yeah. And they're the players. So this idea that everyone knows what's going on with coaches, I don't think you can tell, really. You can tell what Kieran McKenna's doing from what he's done at Ipswich, 100%. And he's obviously a very talented man because he's breaking records. Do you know what I mean? And Skaman, our resident Ipswich fan who's over there, can't stop banging on about him. He's got posters on his wall.
Yeah,
and he's a screensaver on his
wallet as well.
On his phone, he's got a screensaver. It's him and his missus, but he's photoshopped Kieran McKenna's face on where his missus' face would be.
Onto his own face. Because that's what she deserves. She's his queen and she deserves to go with Kieran McKenna.
Exactly.
Just on the other scores then, West Ham still beating Arsenal. Everton have scored against Burnley. And of course, it's James Tarkowski.
He's a red, isn't he, James Tarkowski?
Is he?
I think so. He's from Sale, I think.
In my head, he's just a classic. What's the word? What colour is Burnley's kit?
Claret.
Yeah. He's claret. He's a claret to me. Is he a United fan?
I think so. I think something makes me think he is. Like, I think he's from Trafford. I'm sure he's from Sale or somewhere like that.
Yeah, he was born in Manchester, specifically, I don't know, went to Failsworth High School.
Oh, so that's Oldham way, innit?
Yeah.
So maybe, yeah. Because I remember...
he grew up in New Moston.
Oh, mate, North Manchester.
Very Manchester.
That's FC United tackle, that, innit?
It's a pretty tricky spot as well, that, isn't it? In terms of...
New Moston, it was on my list when I was a reporter. You didn't like going up them sides, knocking on doors after a shooting.
Do you think he's hard then, James Tarkowski?
I reckon he can look after himself.
Yeah, probably can, can't he?
Do you know what I love about James Tarkowski, right?
Go on.
I remember when he had 2 good games for Burnley or whatever, and then people were saying we should get Tarkowski, sell Maguire and get Tarkowski, and you're like, no, we shouldn't.
No.
That's insane.
It is insane. It is absolutely insane, yeah. But people still say it. Right, we've got 7 minutes till kickoff. I want your score predictions in the comments. What's the score going to be? Who's going to score the goals? I'll start with you, Jay. Scoreline and scorers.
Mind?
What did we change your mind from when?
From the preview.
Oh yeah, no, it all gets scrapped. The data gets wiped when the team was.
Because I said we'd lose on the preview.
Yeah.
But I want to change my mind because the games, the kickoff's nearly here, and I always get giddy when it's nearly kickoff. Yeah. And I like that team we've put out. Hannibal's doing it for me.
Yeah, you like him, don't you?
I do. I love him. I think he's the man. So, and the fact that the Newcastle team's all right, but it's got a few players that I don't really know much about. I think we'll win tonight now. I've changed my mind completely. I'm going to do 180. I'm going to go with a 3-1 win to United.
Where's the goals coming from would be my only question.
Scattered, sprinkled across Garnacho, Casemiro and, I don't know, Martial.
More goals, sir.
Yeah, there you go. We'll have a bit of that.
There you go. And then just get the last bit of goals onto your football linguini. There's a few comments here. Matt Wicks, 2-1 United. Garnacho, Martial, Isaac, not playing, so that's going to be difficult. Not in the squad, injured. But... actually, unless one of the other players is called Isaac. Ethan, are any of you the first names of any of your players Isaac?
No. We used to have Isaac Hayden back in the day. But
Isaac Hayes?
Isaac Hayden.
Oh, I was about to say.
Isaac Hayden, he sounds like an Australian.
Who's that player that you said was class that you sold?
Isaac Hayden.
Where did he end up? Where did he go?
I think he's at Norwich.
Why did you say he was
right, because I went to him. Isaac Hayden's gone at Norwich. He's any good? And you went, oh, he's class, Jay. He's that good. We've sent him to Norwich.
Yeah, fantastic.
Bless you. You know what, though? I like that. I like that enthusiasm backing your boys.
We're like that with some United players.
Yeah.
Like, Rodrigo Possebon, when I saw him play for United, I thought, this guy
to be fair, though, he got a nasty injury, didn't he?
He did get a nasty injury. Yeah. But I saw him and thought, he's fantastic. Nick Powell. In my head, at some point, he's still going to be a starting midfielder for Man United.
I think he had an injury, and even I don't want to cast aspersions, but I think he might have had mental health problems as well. So the thing with wonder kids, because Possebon and Powell were wonder kids, weren't they?
Yeah. Hayes.
Like, you never know.
No.
Like Terry Cook for me, which got showing me age now, was he won us the FA Youth Cup in 1995.
Yeah.
And I thought he was going to be absolutely legendary for us, and then he ended up playing for City in League One.
Yeah, mad, isn't it? Gordy B666 says 3-2 United. Tyler Shoemaker says 2-0 United. Brennan says 7-2 United.
Tyler Shoemaker.
About to awaken.
Hey, Tyler Shoemaker. How many jobs can you fit in one name?
Fuck off.
Why are you getting all
this guy's one of our fans.
I'm just saying.
I've got, well, and also
Tyler Shoemaker.
Also, I'm someone from the job name.
Joe Smith.
Illuminati. Oh, Smith. Sorry, is that not a type of job? A Smith? Is it? What's yours? Your surname sounds like an insult.
Why have you taken it upon yourself? A, to take this as an insult to Tyler when it's not. Well. And B, like it's got anything to do with you, like you even know.
Let the transcript state, J. Motti, ha, wipes eyes in disbelief. How many jobs can you fit in one name?
Listen, Joe Smith, which is when you just give up in it.
Yeah.
What? We've got on a baby, his surname's Smith. What are you going to call him? I don't know, Joe. Who cares?
That's interesting.
Joe.
Very funny because Joe hasn't been in the top 10 most common boys' names in the UK since the 1950s. So it's not that fucking easy, is it, mate?
You've done me now. He's proper done me.
Brendan says 7-2. About to awaken, but a couple of own goals. That's all right. We scored 9 goals on the day. Linda Revel. What are you going to say about that? How many chocolates can you fit in one name? Lindor and Revel.
If you have
Jesus
a Revel,
Christ.
what's your favourite? That's good, that, for you.
My head's burst.
What's your favourite from a Revel?
It used to be the orange one, but as I've grown up, I've realised, caramel, please.
Caramel.
Yeah, what's yours?
Man, yeah, I'm with you on
Stuck in
caramel.
me teeth.
Do you know what? I love all Revels, though. That's the beauty of them. Oh. I do. What I just do, man. You can't go wrong. Coffee, even. I even like.
I like the coffee one.
It's so crazy.
Sue me.
Hey.
Linda Revel, she says 1-0, I reckon, or he or they. Acorn,
Right. I'm going past laughing to worrying now. Are you okay?
Oh, here's a name that's got 2 small things in it.
Right, go on.
Acorn
Your
Electron.
knob.
Ethan, what did he just say?
He said,
So I said, here's a name that's got 2 small things in it. And what did he say?
He said it's your knob, Drew.
Right, you're sacked.
I'm sacked.
Well, I can't sack him, can I? But I can sack you, and you just said that.
Don't sack him midstream. We need him. He's on camera as well. Not only is he produced.
Right.
No. You're reinstated.
Right,
We've had a business meeting. You're reinstated. Oh God, no! Don't let Scotty on there. Oh no, actually, go on, Scotty.
I ain't got a fucking clue.
What worries me is like, wow, that's actually don't even need refocusing. They're like the same height.
It's almost like, yeah, that's true actually.
Scotty, while you're there, go onto your camera, press the button. Give us your thoughts on the starting lineup.
I'm more optimistic today than I was on Sunday. I'm with you. Hannibal needed to start today. I think we'll win.
Yes.
Anthony Martial, 2 goals, and then into obscurity again after today.
I was about to say, if Scotty A thinks we'll win and B thinks Anthony Martial will score goals, then something's going down. Because
definitely started drinking again.
Yeah, he's the most cynical man I've ever met, and with good reason, to be fair. We've been watching recently.
What's he been watching?
Manchester United lose to City heavily.
I thought you were talking about.
Go on.
On his laptop and that. Jed's dead, baby. Says 3-1. Mount, Garnacho, Hoyland from the bench.
Oh, Hoyland from the bench. I like
that. Your creepy uncle says 1-0 United. Joe Smith, the scorer. Interesting. By the way, if you Google Joe Smith on Twitter at the minute, if you Google it on Twitter, if you look for it, the person whose wife that isn't. It's a different Joe Smith to me. Just so you know.
Okay.
Anyway, Sam Carter says 2-0 Newcastle.
Sam Carter from the Architects.
Yeah. Ooh, what's she dancing Magna? Hey, love it. Brilliant.
I thought you were going to go with Jimmy, but you went with Magna, which is even better.
Yeah, Magna. My surname means dairy farm, and I'm a bloody milk merchant.
Do you know what? This is peak Carabao tonight, isn't it? It is. Everyone's got a Carabao flavour. Can we have a little bit of sound, please, so I can hear Anthony Gordon's dulcet tones as he screams at the referee?
Of course you can. I'll down my mic for a little bit.
Oh, what's your score prediction, Ethan? Sorry.
I'm going to say, after that lineup, I'm sadly going to say 2-0 Manchester United. Sadly.
You can say what you want. Ignore my haphazard friend here who likes to dish out P45s like confetti. Wow. You're not going to get in trouble for predicting your team to win.
I don't think we are going to win, Jay, based on that 11.
Okay, and we've kicked off. Ethan's going to put his mic down a little bit.
Just when you want to come in, Eve, just do the switcheroonie.
We're going to have to shout you in a minute because if something happens, and it will.
Make sure as well, people, you are hitting that like button, please.
Yes, let's get to 1,000 likes.
I wonder what the crowd's like there today. It looks, because it always looks busy, doesn't it, on the telly?
Yeah.
And I know there's been a bit of a rush for tickets in terms of my group chats in the last 2 hours, which is surprising.
Interesting. What do you think that is?
I don't know. I think that...
We missed that.
Do you know one thing that's annoyed me slightly? Is that 1:15.
What's that about?
Like,
£8:15. What are we doing?
Little 15 minutes makes all the difference, doesn't it? It's unnecessary.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there's a reason for it. It's just annoying when you go to the game.
Fixtures used to be at 8:45 more often than they were 8:15 in in years gone by, and now you never see a 8:45 really, do you?
No, this is it. Maybe it's just to annoy the Geordies because they've got to go all the way back up to Newcastle, isn't it?
That's true.
Like, it's just 15 minutes for them.
Yeah.
Though some of those Christmas fixtures are a bit brutal as well,
I
aren't
know,
they?
yeah.
It's
We're 8 p.m. on Boxing Day, aren't we? Which is a tricky one.
That's a foul on. Is that? No. Who's that? Who's that? Matty Target.
He's got a target on his back.
Nice.
Yeah, actually, that's written. Isn't it? Do you think it's weird and noteworthy that Eddie Howe has assembled a squad of people that look like himself?
It's meant that, innit?
Yes.
He's built the team in his own image, literally.
The people that sort of look like Eddie Howe in this team: Target,
Yeah.
Gordon-ish, yeah, Longstaff, Richie,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Isaac.
yeah,
Yeah.
similar, same hair colour.
Yeah.
On Joe Linton. Sorry, I hadn't finished the sentence yet. He already agreed to it, which I respect. Thank you.
But even Joe Linton's dyed his hair.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Blonde
so-
to look like Eddie Howe.
Yeah. So it is. It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, egomaniac, you might say. Lovely.
Who's that guy who's always with him on the touchline who everyone does the memes about? Is it Jason Tyndall? Yeah.
Wasn't he one of the squad who won the 2003 Rugby World Cup with
The
England?
one that married Zara Phillips?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's had a very colourful career.
He's lost about 9 stone as
He's
well.
lost 9 stone. He's 12th in line to the throne.
Yeah. What's going on here? Is it a leg? Oh, that's all right. What's your favourite Newcastle player James Bond film? Is it Live Memento and Let Die Memento? That's so bad. Oh, crikey.
Go
on.
Yeah, it's Golden Isaac.
Really, 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 really good stuff.
What's yours, Eve?
Go on, what is it?
Is it? Ooh, I'm not very good with this kind of word play. What's the one that Adele done the music for?
Skyfall?
Skyfall.
Yeah.
Is it? Ooh.
Oh, this is tough.
Oh.
Go on. You can
Go
do
on.
this.
You can,
Go on.
you've got, yeah.
I have every faith in you, son. You can do this.
Oh, it looks like Newcastle are already making a substitution.
That's not good, is it? Although it is probably improving them as a team.
I know.
Almiron coming on for... who was it who was on the floor, Ethan?
I think it
Target.
was Target, yes.
Of course, yeah. He's got a target on his back.
Nice.
He's got away with that somehow. I don't know how he did that. Casemiro sitting a bit deeper so far, which I like. I just want to see him stay there. Just stay 6 yards in front of the centre-backs at all
I've got
times.
one for you.
Okay, go on then.
Doctor Nolberto Solano.
He doesn't play for him. That is awful. As in Doctor No?
Yeah.
That's terrible.
I'm sorry. I was trying to help him out. I did mine.
Oh, yeah, so that's his, is it? You've funded in his own work and all the answers are wrong. That's disgusting. Yeah, that's all right, actually. Oh, we've got some in here. Faustino Royale. That's pretty good, actually.
Faustino doesn't play for him anymore, so how come he gets a pass?
Yeah, but the pun is good.
Right.
Norberto Solano doesn't play for him anymore, and the pun was awful. So you got to give him some.
I thought it was clever.
Give and let die. That is sensational.
That's peak.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Skyfall Miron.
We'll take it. We'll take that. Oh, yeah, I like it.
That's not bad. Someone just said Beardsley. Which I guess is also a pun on Skyfall.
I love the fact that he just ignored the pun and the James Bond element and just named a player that used to play for Newcastle. Beardsley, Shearer.
Beardsley.
As well, it's so random. Beardsley. I love that.
Beardsley.
Big props to Peter Beardsley, by the
Good
way.
turn
He
there from Mason Mount.
came to pay his respects to Bobby Charlton.
Yeah,
If you saw the
good lad.
pictures of him laying some flowers down.
How good was Peter Beardsley? He's one of those players I don't
Honestly,
know anything about.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, was he?
And we had him and let him go under Atkinson. Brought him on loan and then he's not good enough. Then he went to the Scousers and Everton and then Newcastle and just smashed it up everywhere he went.
Shame, innit?
Just apparently, I read Andy Cole's book, and we had him on the channel actually. He was chatting about it, and he said like Keegan said to him, "We're going to sign Peter Beardsley," and he was like, he'd been doing well with, I think it was David Kelly, his strike partner. He said, "I don't need we don't need to sign him." He's like, "No, trust me, with him next year, he'll score so many goals," and he was just like, it was like unbelievable to play alongside. Yeah. He's selfless as well, wasn't he? He wasn't scored goals, but wasn't all about it.
Consistently, just the worst haircut in world football, though, isn't it?
I thought you were going to go down another route then, but yes, his haircut wasn't great.
Like that is just everyone is. It's like it is like he's done him. Actually, he probably has done them at home, hasn't he?
I remember once when he was playing for Newcastle and he was on the touchline and there was been an injury, and the fans were giving him grief because of his appearance, and he put a thumbs up to him.
Good. Yeah, I respect that.
I thought, he must get it everywhere he goes.
Yeah. Well, he used to get a bit of stick.
You know his nickname and that.
No, I told you.
I don't know if you can get away with it in this day and age, but
well, you can say it from a journalistic perspective.
His nickname was Quasimodo. That was his nickname from rival fans. I'm not, condoning it or saying that I shouted it at him. I'm saying that was his nickname, was Modo. Quasimodo.
No one accused you of shouting.
I know, but I feel bad because like people look at you're taking a mick out of his appearance. That was what his nickname was by rival fans. I'm not.
Yeah. No, you're just saying it from a sort of Wikipedia.
Yeah. So he used to get a lot of stick because of his appearance.
That's rough.
But as a footballer, he was sick. And you got to be good if you play for Liverpool, and I'll say that about you.
Toonraker.
What?
Like Moonraker.
Yeah, but that's just the nickname.
Lascelles is not enough?
Lascelles is not enough. Yeah. From the world is not enough. That's not even remotely close. That's just like...
Right, here's one.
Shearer fall.
Instead of the man with the golden gun, the man with the goal, Dan Burn.
Right, how am I not getting Dr. Norberto Solano? And you're letting anyone in? Lascelles is not enough?
Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, you're not having that one.
Keep them coming.
Why I Another Day?
Good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Newcastle just passing it around the back. United pressing high. Casemiro. This is what I don't really like. Actually, I suppose it's just if they break down that side now, he's not going to be there, is he? But you've got to hope the rest of the team put a shift in and stop them breaking. You almost think that Casemiro has to do everything defensively for United, but actually, as Garnacho has just done there, we should be winning the ball back higher up anyway.
Yeah,
he did well there.
He did.
Right, come on then now. Lindelof and Maguire starting at centre back for United. Like the good old days, isn't it?
Isn't it? Do you want I don't know. With the whole Lindelof and Maguire thing.
Yeah.
Like, do you feel sorry for him a bit?
Yeah.
Because A, like they did finish third and second, and B, they didn't have a DM in front of them.
I know.
Which
they had
we were the only club,
Matic, who didn't play.
And then didn't play, and then it was McFred. Neither of whom were DMs.
No.
So I don't know. I'm not saying they're amazing, but I do feel like they got a bit of a raw deal sometimes.
Well done. Go on, Andy.
That's
better.
Ante
to have a good game.
Keep the ball. No, instead of just giving it away after he's done the hard bit.
That touch was brilliant, and then just pass it inside. You don't have to do that.
There's no doubt he's got talent. For me, he just needs to use it in a more effective way.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you can't just... It's no good just looking good on the ball a lot. You need to do something with it.
Yeah.
And this is it now. This is the... He sort of got a bit of a pass in his first season because we won a trophy and finished third.
Yeah.
And this season you think, right, you've got to kick on now. You've got to show us a bit more. Mm-hmm. And so far, I know he's obviously had a lot going on, but so far we haven't seen anything.
No,
other than the Forest game, I think he had a good game. That's about it. Unless I'm forgetting something, sorry.
Go on.
Well done, Delo.
He's been decent the last few weeks. He's not been amazing, but he's put some good performances in.
I'd file Delo under the not part of the problem category.
Yeah,
for me
too.
I know some will disagree, but I just think there's other issues we've got, and he ain't one of them.
Yeah. Sort of goes under the radar a little bit.
At least he's playing.
Yeah, I know. He's fit. He's playing 2 games a week and has done for about 6 weeks.
Just reminded me of something as well. I did feel a bit for Lindelof at the weekend because he's not a left back.
No.
And like, you can't just play players out of position and just expect them to always do well there, because he's just, that's not his position, is it? It's not like he's used to it or he's shone there. He hasn't.
No. Remember how bad Liverpool were defensively when Van Dijk was injured for that season?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, it's accepted, that's fine because it's Van Dijk. And yet when our whole defence is wrong,
Yeah.
people are like, well, that's no excuse.
Yeah.
You're like,
Your
well,
whole
it is
defence
an
is wrong
excuse.
against the best team in the planet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's no excuse. You should beat them anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I get we should have played better, and we should have played better this season.
Yeah.
But has Onana had the same back four in front of him for 3 games in a row since he joined
think so.
United? Like, that's insane. We're 15
he's unlucky
15
that
games
guy,
into the
actually.
season. And I bet there's been 9 or 10 different back fours in front of him.
Yeah, I agree. And it's difficult for him because you've been brought in with this specific role of playing the ball forward and playing it out the back.
Yeah.
And then it's changing all the time. And you saw it at a weekend where we were doing this thing of playing it along the back line all the time, and in many occasions just inviting trouble. And the lack of movement as well in front of him was awful at times for Onana.
Yeah. When you
Just
think,
sat there because I was behind. Sorry, no, I was
No,
going
no.
to say 'cause I was behind him for the second half. I think it was. No, it wasn't. I'm talking rubbish. It was for the first half. And you can see he's looking and going.
Yeah.
Who's showing for the ball? Who wants it? And it was just like, I don't know, a lack of energy or movement or whatever you want to call it. Just weren't the options there.
our 2 best ball-playing defenders are Luke Shaw and Lissandro Martinez.
Yeah.
And neither of them, well, both of them have hardly
It's
played
just
so
gone
far
out,
this season.
I'm sure that's gone out.
Decent little drill. But both of them have hardly played this season.
Yeah.
How many times over the last 4 or 5 years has a defender or goalkeeper got in a panic and gone, oh, I'm just clipping it to Luke Shaw?
Yeah.
Like hundreds of times. He is the outball every time because his touch is so good and technically he's so good. He's not had that. And Martinez, who gave us another level defensively on the ball. Oh, fucking hell, Lindelof. He's been injured for most of the season as well. And when he hasn't been injured, he's been unfit or, injured pretty much, half injured.
I don't know if we've spoke about this. I don't feel like we have. What did you make of the fact that Casemiro's the captain?
Oh, yeah, good point.
Because
I'd not really noticed.
there's no Bruno obviously tonight.
Yeah. I suppose the obvious question is, why is it not Maguire?
Yeah.
I guess?
Would you not? There's Hannibal
not
getting
booking.
his.
You're not
Oh,
booking
what?
for that.
That's not a booking. That.
Crikey. That's gentle, that, innit? Surely.
That
know
is
it's a bit late, but it's just
absolutely
as-
pathetic.
Let's have a look. Is that a booking? What do you think there, Ethan? Is that a booking? Like, he jumps into him side on, but it's shoulder to shoulder. It's a bit late. Is that a
It's
booking?
harsh.
Yeah.
It's harsh. That's not a yellow card.
First foul of the day.
Yeah, I know with decisions like this, we try and not consider when it is in the match because a foul is a foul. But genuinely, at any minute in the game, I don't think that's a yellow card. Especially if that's his first
It's
foul or
basically
so.
the ref saying there, if you do that 2 times, you're off.
I hate
That's
that.
mad.
I hate
That's
that.
a mad precedent, that.
Because he has his reputation, Hannibal, and I think it's going before
Yeah.
him.
If that's one matter there, there's no way that's a booking, is there?
No.
That's a proper Fellaini level. You didn't do and you got booked for it. Oh, here's another one coming now, I bet you.
He's got booked as
He
well,
ain't, surely. Surely
say.
didn't. I don't think that was a foul, was it? Casemiro. That's not a foul, that. Look at Willock here. Literally dives. That's a dive. Willock knocks it past Casemiro. Casemiro touches him. Like, literally, the tips of his fingers touch him and he falls over. That's not even a foul. Fucking, I can't be arsed with the ref having his little, I'm in charge moment today. Can you? Is this what we're going to have, this? That was genuinely a dive, that. I thought he'd at least fouled him. He didn't even touch him. Oh, sake. All right, free kick to Newcastle. 25, 30 yards out, left-hand side of the box. Ball to the back post. Kind of half won and then nodded out by Lindelof for a corner. That's ridiculous, that.
No, it is ridiculous.
I can't be arsed this. I just don't. Can't we just end the game and go, what do you think of the referee today? Well, yeah, didn't really notice him. Yeah, fine. Like, I don't want it to have a big conversation about reffing or VAR or whatever. He used to sort his life out. Who's that though? Target again? No, it's not Target, is it?
Target's gone.
Yeah, was that Richie?
Matt Ritchie.
Eddie Howe.
Matt Ritchie. Corner. Ah. Ooh.
Go on,
Maguire
Andy
just doing
Marshall.
enough
Well
there to
done,
put
lad.
Joe Linton off.
Help
Go
him
on,
out.
keep the
Help
ball.
him out.
Well done. Lovely. And again. Man on! Ah. It's all right. Who's he? Who's that boy there? The sort of slightly
I missed the boy, but is it Lewis Hall, the left back?
slightly
Is that you're referring
cherubic
to?
blonde hair.
Yes. He
Yeah.
used to play for Chelsea, Joe. Do you remember? Newcastle have got him on a loan with an obligation to buy. And I think
Okay.
the obligation to buy is in the region of 30 million.
He's one of your sort of National Trust players, isn't he? Like Dewsbury Hall.
Yes.
These places you can go and you pay the nice coffee shop,
Hannibal.
little gift shop. What's going on here?
Oh,
Another foul from Hannibal.
See, this is what annoys me
There we
now.
go.
He'll get subbed at half time.
Yeah.
Ten Hag will look at it and go, he's a walking red card. I'm taking him off. And the player that I've been wanting to see so much is going to get 45 minutes because of a proper soft yellow card.
I can't even tell what he does there. And he just
catches
between
him.
his legs, doesn't he?
Casemiro needs to have a word with him and just say, look,
Yeah.
you're on a yellow, don't go at ground.
Yeah.
Don't
'Cause
even fly in.
The
Just
best chance Newcastle
stay
have
on
got
your
of winning
feet.
this game is if we've got 10 men.
Yeah, stay on your feet, don't go to ground, obviously. And
Let me do the tackling.
yeah,
Although he's not, he's quite fond of a red card as well, isn't he?
yeah.
Go on then, good pressing there from Mount. Win the second ball here, win this one. Well done, Casemiro. That's
Thing
better
is,
that.
as well, Newcastle, they're very good at the dark arts.
Yeah, they are. They've learnt that quickly, haven't they?
Yeah, they have.
They're good at tripping and elbows and
yeah,
all that.
and getting, a foul when they want one and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Well, they did last season, didn't they? They had that thing of they played the least minutes of any team.
Yeah.
Like just time wasting or slowing the game down or whatever you want to call it. Or, not always time wasting, but just...
Cheating.
Yeah.
Go on, Alejandro. Go on, son.
They know how to do that well. Keep the ball. Well done.
Is he all right?
Yeah,
I'm hoping
looks
that's nothing. He just pulled up there.
I think it looks like someone stood on him, maybe.
Come on, Casemiro. You're never going to get to that.
No.
Just almost like a hit and hope. He's held on to it too long now, that kid.
Oh, God. Is he going to get booked now, is he? Still can't believe he booked Hannibal for that one tackle.
He's booking him, I think.
Is it?
He's put his hand in his pocket there.
Might well be, to be honest.
So we've got both our midfielders, or both our DMs, if you want to call them that, on yellows, 18 minutes in. See, to be fair, right, I don't want to make a big thing of the captain's thing, but Maguire's in the referee's ear there, and he's chatting to him, and he's a bit more that guy, isn't he, Maguire?
Yeah.
Do you feel like Ten Hag feels like he's made a statement by taking the captaincy off him, so he can't have him come back in as a captain?
Yeah, and I also think
Because
that...
obviously Casemiro is one of the most successful players ever.
Yeah.
But in terms of like communicating and stuff,
Yeah, I think, though, that Maguire is only 2 games into this everyone isn't slagging off Harry Maguire moment.
that's a great point.
Do you know what I mean?
That's fair.
3 weeks ago, he was a laughing stock on social
No,
media.
I hear that.
Finally, people are going, actually, he's been all right recently.
Yeah.
But I think giving him the captain's armband, if
Also-
something embarrassing happens or we lose
Yeah.
again, it's disgrace. Why is Ten Hag
Also,
giving this clown...
did we ever get to? Do you remember when he was asked in pre-season who his deputy captains were, and he
Yeah.
didn't know or he didn't say?
No.
Did he ever announce that? I
I
know
don't know
that
if he ever
sounds
announced it, but I think...
ridiculous. By all means, get involved in the chat in the comments and let us know if there is a hierarchy.
Didn't Varane wear it a couple of times when Bruno wasn't about? Am I
See,
making
this
that
worries
up?
me. Everything now where Hannibal's near it, like he just had it took off him, then got crowded out.
Subs-wise, you've got Ericsson, McTominay, Fernandes. I mean, Fernandes would be the obvious one, wouldn't it? But he don't really offer that same sort of...
I don't know.
bite.
Amrabat me.
Oh yeah, Amrabat. Sorry, I'm missing him. Yeah, that would be the obvious one. Sorry, not
Yeah,
Bruno.
because I'm very, very concerned that we've got
Yeah.
more about Hannibal, but to be fair, Casemiro's not short of shy of getting a red card.
He's on a booking in 50 minutes. I could see him come out.
I still haven't got over that yellow at Crystal Palace,
Yeah, it's horrible.
Because it was so unnecessary. He was flying at the time.
He was playing so well.
And it rattled him as well, because remember the sitter he missed later on?
Yeah. Yeah, and then obviously suspended for the Arsenal game, wasn't it, for those who don't remember? But he was one of the best players in the Premier League at that time.
He was. He really, the suspensions, I know that was only one game, but then the red cards and everything, it just seems to knock the wind out of his sails a bit, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Bloody hell, how much bigger is his head? Look how much bigger Mitchell van der Gaag's head is compared to... He's further away from the camera. His head's twice the size.
Yeah, it's massive.
What was that?
Hey.
Was that real? Was that like a...
It's like a Russian doll, wasn't it?
What was that?
It's like if you took Mitchell van der Gaag's head and opened it up, you could take Eric Ten Hag's head out of it.
Well, no, you get Steve McLaren's first.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's Ten Hag. How big was his head then? Did anyone else notice that? Am I being an idiot? His head was further away from the camera and it looked double the size of Ten Hag's. Jesus Christ. It's like
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. It's like Ten Hag has got a storage unit where he keeps all his thoughts. What the fuck? Can we show... We can't... There's no way of us getting a screenshot of that, is there?
No, I mean...
Oh my God, that was unthinkably massive.
Get involved in the comments and the chat by all means.
I've never noticed how big his head is before. People saying, ugly game so far, we're trash.
I love that. We're trash. We've had 39% possession in the last 10 minutes. That's a great ball, that, to be fair to the kid.
It is.
Annoyingly.
Well done.
Oh, well done, Hannibal.
Christ alive.
He had to get that one right.
He did, because he'd be booked at sent off and they'd have a penalty. Cry. Talk about high pressure tackle, that.
If he got that wrong, basically, his career at United was over.
Genuinely, maybe. That is sort of the
most important
see a career
tackle of his life.
Oh,
it's a bit rough there,
jumped
kid.
In there.
2-footed in that.
Took a bit of a chance there, will it, didn't it?
Yeah.
I was going to say, is that not our ball? But it is, we've got it. Go on then, Victor, what you got?
Go on a run. No, or just give it away.
Give it to them.
Hey, there you go. Let's do that instead, eh? Do you know what winds me up as well?
Go on.
It's not his fault, because everyone, the apology wave.
Yeah.
Plays.
Who's the best at that?
Fred.
Yeah.
Fred went for the double-hander, didn't he?
By the end, he had to.
Head down.
Because, this one had run out of batteries.
Yeah,
he had to do both.
that one.
Yeah, it was unbelievable, wasn't it? Are you like that? If you make a mistake at five-a-side or whatever, do you say sorry?
Nah, I do the shouting into the floor or the screaming at myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I like that. Don't foul him. Win the second ball. What? What's the foul for? They didn't look like a foul there to me.
Who is that he's deemed to have fouled then?
It's Thingy Hall, isn't it?
Who?
Hall.
Lewis Hall. He's got a touch of the Rasmus Højlunds about him. Oh, good. The Scousers are winning.
That's good to know.
Oh, and Chelsea are too.
Everton are too.
Oh, West Ham are 2-0 up against Arsenal.
Ooh. Hammered.
Nice.
Thanks. How do you think you'd be around a smelting furnace? Sort of dinging some sort of mallet
heat.
into shape.
I love heat, me.
Do you?
Yeah.
1995.
Oh, they're making a sequel, which is also a prequel, aren't they?
Oh, is it? I'm guessing.
Aaron Ramsdale covered himself in glory as well.
Kudos. When's the last time you covered yourself in glory?
That's none of your business.
Okay.
I haven't even got the energy anymore, Joe.
That's a good point.
Hey.
Getting it there is not the problem, it's getting it off.
It's like, do you know what? I've got stuff to do.
Can't be arsed,
Yeah,
just let it dry.
Arsed now, do you know what I mean?
Regular on. Martial sort of. Every touch he takes looks like it's like either by accident or at gunpoint, doesn't it,
Hey,
Martial?
Martial.
Like then the ball passed him, but he like fell at, like he couldn't look less enthused, could he?
Martial has the same expression when he's getting sent off against Spurs as when he's banged in a hat-trick against Sheffield United.
It's weird, isn't it?
Like, genuinely looks like he takes it in the same sort of stride.
Yeah, and I go back and forth with him because I know that some people are just like that, but on the other hand, you think, just do a bit more. And it is costing him at this point. Like his languid style, whatever you want to call it, the fact that he's been out of form basically for 3 years, and you think he's never gone down the I'm just going to go for it route. I'm just going to work my arse off, sprint everywhere, double my effort, all that. I'm going to stick with the jog and look quite nice on the ball. I just think, try something different for a bit. Give yourself 3-4 months of actually, hitting it hard. And he just doesn't.
He just never lived up to the Wonder Kid.
No.
We talked about Wonder Kid before. He was a Golden Boy winner, wasn't he? Or one of your
certainly
nominee.
Close, yeah. I think he might have won it, yeah.
Yeah, like, he never quite hit those heights that people thought he was going to.
No.
People were sort of mentioning him like he was going to be the next Henry.
Yeah.
And, I mean, obviously that's grossly unfair.
Yeah.
But if you looked at that first season with Kent United, you thought, actually, he's a mint player.
Yeah.
And if he kicks on the way we hope he will, because he's only a teenager, then maybe he could. But then he didn't. He just stayed into like the 15 goals in all competitions sort of bracket, other than that one season where he hit 23. Which again is great, but it's not like unbelievable.
No.
And then, the seasons after have just been very poor. And that loan move to Sevilla was a disaster.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's weird, like what the future holds for Martial. I don't know.
I can't see it being.
That's a bad ball. That it was that Casemiro.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
He didn't. Because he had a man on his back, he couldn't look over his shoulder, and he didn't know that runner was there, did he?
No.
And it's just. Yeah,
absolutely playing his mate into all sorts of trouble. Right, go on, Hannibal. Don't go down. Well done.
Hannibal entering a 50-50 tackle at the minute is. Luckily, that was a 60-40 in the end.
I feel the same sort of level of anxiousness as when like it's a one-on-one to Newcastle. All we see there then is just pulled out.
Good.
I'm going to turn my phone off because someone at the game keeps.
Good tackle.
Well done, Harry Maguire.
Yeah, we need a bit of that. A bit of bastard. Go on, overlapping.
Who was that? Alejandro.
Don't let him run past Mount! Hannibal can't go in. You've got to know that. You go in.
Oh, he's on his own here, the kid. And they've scored.
Fuck's sake.
Awful.
Mason Mount's got to foul him there.
That's
got
that
to
is
foul
poor
him.
that from Mason Mount. That.
Who is it? Almiron.
The kid that came on for
He's literally just come on.
Richie or whoever it was.
Yeah.
Target.
Whoever.
Fucking no, some of Scottish detective. Hey, who cares? Oh! I can't be bothered. I've already lost my enthusiasm for this game.
I didn't think I'd be losing it, laughing at us going 1-0 down. But you saying Taggart, that's tickled
Taggart
me.
goes off.
Ethan, you 1-0 up. What are your thoughts?
Right. Garnacho loses it, right, which is forgivable here because
Mount's
there's
got
Mount,
in there.
Like you say, Hannibal can't dive in because he's on a booking. Mount's got to do something.
Dallow's jogging.
Dallow as well, switching off.
Mount and Dallow between them there. Mount's got to make the foul because he knows Hannibal can't, and Dallow's just literally switched off. Hasn't he? Shocking between the two of them there. Ethan, go on. You 1-0 up.
Well, yeah, like you said, Joe, there was many opportunities there to win the ball back. Newcastle just broke through United's defending. And Almiron, as quick as you like, can get on the end of it, put it in the back of the net.
The voice is gone already. He's only
Yeah, I'm emotional.
Bloody hell. That's shit, that. That's just individual poor mistakes, that.
Right.
Poor,
I'm always of the opinion it takes a while when you come to Manchester United, no matter where you've come from, to sell. And it's early days. But Mason Mount's got to do something soon.
Yeah.
Can't just keep doing nothing or disappointing. Like, come on, man. I know you've had his hand injuries, and like I say, it's only just turned November.
Yeah. I'm not saying he's a bad signing,
said it before the game,
but he needs to do something. Yeah.
Sorry,
He's unplugged his mic in his under here, look.
Yeah, Mason Mount's got to do something.
Yeah, he has. All on Casemiro. That's good.
That's
nice little touch from Mount there.
Come on, United.
Yeah, we need.
Go on, Alejandro.
Get the ball in. Well done, Mason. Oh, that's more like it, though.
Just taking a chance at the near post.
Yeah, that's a bit better. Probably realises, actually, I fucked up there. Yeah, that's good, that. It's good bit of play. Should admit, didn't hit the target, but at least he's going for something. He's just got to take the player out there, hasn't he? When he's running through, you can't let him run past the whole midfield.
The thing is with that as well, it's one of those where you can see a bit more effort would have done what you needed to do. Do you know what I mean? It's different if it's like a mistake or it's a trick that doesn't come off or someone's better than you goes past you.
Yeah.
But when it's just that little bit more effort would have got us out of trouble. People don't forgive that.
No, and Dalot just switching
Dalot switching off was terrible as well.
He's in the box now, Dalot. Back post, Martial. Oh.
What are you doing, Mount?
Well, how's Martial not headed that?
I think Casemiro's jumped for it.
Is it Casemiro?
Or was it Martial's? Whoever's jumped for it in front of Mount and it's took he's not realised that it's going to come to him. Because I think he jumps and he don't need to.
I don't see how Martial's
not It's a good ball this from Diogo Dalot, to be fair. Martial jumps. Mount jumps, he don't need to. Yeah, he's just nothing there from Mount.
Bit better though from United. At least we're
good ball out from Diogo Dalot.
Yeah. It's annoying though, isn't it? Going down again. At Old Trafford, another set of minutes where another team's in
it's
the
my
lead at Old
fault for
Trafford.
saying we'd win, changing my mind.
I know.
Just stuck to my guns.
Armour on. You didn't think he'd be coming after 3 minutes. That load, just basics, innit? Switch off for 5 seconds.
We've just been praising him, saying he's not the issue, and then he does something like that.
It's poor that.
Do you know what? Like someone in my group chat who's at the game was like having a dig at Garnacho. I don't blame him. I don't blame a winger for losing the ball. No. I'm more annoyed at the fact that not Almiron, whoever it was who's dispossessed Garnacho, was just walked past Mason Mount.
Yeah.
And then Diogo Dalot switched off with Almiron on your shoulder as well.
Yeah.
Oh, do one, will ya? Don't foul him. Don't foul him.
You know, Livramento with the back heel.
Just not a happy camp at the minute, is it? United.
No.
Everything's going wrong. What are the chats in the comments saying?
Yeah, nothing changes. Still crap.
Who said that?
I've scrolled past it now.
Right.
There's no way we're winning this game. That's Ashley Iverson. Utter shambles, says RD Man 07. This team, says Shogun. Michael says Ten Hag should please check our right flank, exploited by City and now Newcastle. That wasn't Ten Hag. Dalot is level with Almiron. Almiron sprints, Dalot jogs. Yeah. That's not like a tactical issue. There's literally 2 players there. One of them does the right thing, one of them does the wrong thing. It wasn't like we'd been stretched and there was no space and, he'd been pulled like that. It just stopped running. That's not... I don't think that was a tactical thing. I know what you're talking about, the width out wide where we don't really push with our fullbacks. So there's often a gap between the fullbacks and the winger. West Ham are 3-0 up against Arsenal, by the way. That's because Arsenal, I suppose it doesn't matter that they don't win any trophies because they've got bigger fish to fry than winning trophies.
When people do that thing of like how many trophies you've missed out on.
Yeah.
Like, since he's won that FA Cup, Arteta, he's missed out on loads, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Everyone,
isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I mean. How many seasons has he been there now?
Yeah, this is his 4th season, I think.
Yeah.
I think you're forgetting, chaps, that he's won 2 Community Shields.
Oh, right. Do you class the Community Shield as a trophy? I mean, I know you probably would.
It's certainly
Newcastle, isn't it?
A piece of silverware.
There we go. No. Ramsdale mistake for the West Ham's 3rd goal as well, by the way. But I think from what I saw, they just hit it straight at him, didn't he? And he just
I love the fact they've got 2 keepers, Arsenal, and now both of them are crap.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, so would you class the Charity Shield as a trophy? I forgot what you said then.
Well, physically it is a trophy, I guess.
Yeah.
We'll have to kind of...
The Bangkok Century Cup physically is a trophy.
Also, is it a trophy? Physically, it's
a shield.
It's a plate.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Is what it really is. Physically, it's a frisbee.
I feel for what it is, the winners of the Premier League, the winners of the FA Cup, it should probably be a bit more.
But it's not always that, is it, though?
Yeah,
City have done the double a few times where I know United have done it obviously as well. So you don't always play there because you've won a trophy the season before.
That's a good point.
Do you think it would have a bit more gravitas if we called it the English Super Cup?
Ooh, I like that.
Because they call it the Spanish Super Cup.
They've scored a second.
That's
Andy
two.
Gordon.
No,
No, it's not. It's someone else who looks a little bit like him.
Hall.
I missed that.
Hall. Oh my God. What is this? 35 minutes in and we're 2-0 down at home to Newcastle's Resis.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up.
Sorry, Eve, I know you're buzzing. Can you put some sound on so I can hear what has got to be said about his utter disgrace?
What happens here?
Right.
So we've got the ball. What's the foul?
We switch off again.
Is he on? Is he? No, he's on. Yeah, Lindelof's keeping him on. So it's 4v1 at the minute. How does this go wrong? That pass there.
Hannibal doesn't track his man now.
We sort of half win it back, and then that clip goes in.
Hannibal's
Maguire
left
heads
him.
it out.
Hannibal's left him now. I mean, it's a finish to be fair, but still.
It's one of them, innit? Oh, that's just shit, innit? It's a very good finish. It's the sort of goal that we haven't scored all season. That one where they shouldn't have really scored a goal there, should they? Let's be honest. And the fucking 2-0 up.
His first senior goal.
He's a left back.
Oh my God.
Just perfectly in the bottom corner. Come on then, Anthony Martial. Fucking hell. Why does he look like he's playing on ice skates or like rollerblades or something? Every time he's on the ball, he's spinning round, falling over. His touch is getting away from him. He's just not a footballer anymore, is he? Genuinely, what does Martial do on a football pitch except jog around and lose the ball? Go on, Anthony, keep the ball. Fucking well done, lad. It's a
That'll
corner.
do.
Well done. What's Ten Hag up to?
Yeah, can I ask that question? What do you think this result means for Ten Hag? Is this? I know it's just the Carabao Cup, but it's getting knocked out of another competition, something that you won last year.
I don't think it does for him, but it's one of those games that if he gets sacked soon or even this season, you look back at and go, that was one of the games that cost him his job. Yeah. Like we were talking, me and Joe were talking earlier, like when Ollie drew with Everton at home, I remember saying, I think McCullough said it as well in the overlap, it felt like a seminal moment. That when Jose got knocked out of the Champions League to Sevilla, it felt like a moment where you go, this isn't going to have a happy ending, this isn't going to work out, and this has a touch of that about it, where I don't think he gets sacked tomorrow or even this month, but if he does say going around Christmas time, which is usually a favourite for this board, you'll look back and go, losing at home to Newcastle in the Carabao Cup was one of those games that did for you. That's what I think anyway.
Yeah. Because it's one we should be winning.
Because the thing is as well, you've not got anything to fall back on in a minute. Like if you were doing well in the Champions League, you could say, well, at least we're doing well in Europe. But we're on the precipice there.
Dallo has been horrendous so far today.
We jinxed him by saying he's not been part of the problem.
Well done, Anthony.
Should have gone down there. He's
Just
done well there, to be fair.
all the time. For both of their goals, he's been caught with runners going behind him. And the second one, there was already someone marking the man with the ball. He didn't need to stay with him. He needed to go with the runner.
Yeah.
Well done, Hannibal.
I think he's done that on purpose then.
Yeah, ducked underneath it.
Yeah.
So annoying, that. I'm gonna look at that.
Just awful, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrible. Every week.
What would you do now if you're watching this? Would you keep things as they are at half time? Maybe bring an Eriksen on. Maybe try and control the ball a little bit more. Because to be fair, the problem is, how many shots have Newcastle had? 2.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't want to completely flip everything because it's not like they're dominating. but we are 2-0 down. So you've got to do something. What's the play here?
I think Bruno's warming up.
Yeah.
Just because of that potential injury to Hannibal, even though he looks okay now. So I presume he's looking at. I think he's going to bring Hannibal off at half time anyway, because he's on a yellow.
Yeah.
And it's touch and go. And he's having to change his game to accommodate the fact he's on a yellow, because we saw him not going in at challenges normally he would go into. So I think he might end up taking Hannibal off for Bruno. Martial, man, come on. Oh.
Come on.
And now the counter again.
Right. Overlapping on this side, look. Someone close him down.
About to say, you could see he's getting his sight in there. Bending it around that defender. Thankfully the keeper saw it coming.
They've got 3-on-1 at times down this left-hand side. That's a good touch there. Well done, Anthony. That's
Took too long. There's another apology wave. Just after the derby, you want a response. You want a team to come out giving it a go from the kick-off. And instead, we've just been second best all over the pitch again.
Yeah.
What are the comments saying, bro?
I mean, Dallow off, Wan-Bissaka on. Some people calling for. Players want 10 seconds on the ball. This Newcastle team is rubbish. How bad does that make us?
Wow.
I mean, it's not a bad point. The mad thing is, we don't even look like scoring at all, do we?
No.
Like, I know I said before that Newcastle have only had a couple of shots, but they're the ones who are attacking now, and consistently. United don't look like scoring at all. This is their reserves, like we said before. It's not back and forth. You have a shot, we have a shot, and it's two teams that are heavily rotated, slugging it out. This is our rotated team, theirs, and we can't create anything.
No.
Nick Tigray says they're singling out Dallow every attack down this side. A lot of people not enjoying Dallow's performance. Dallow's shocking. Been saying it for years. Okay. He's having a bad day today, that's for sure. Someone said, no, not Eriksen. Stop thinking he's the answer, because he's not. He doesn't tackle, doesn't press, and hasn't got the legs. I know, but who's going to create something? The problem is we haven't got a player that can tackle, has the legs, press, and create chances. I guess maybe you can look at Bruno for a few of those things, but he's not been controlling games very well recently, and at least Eriksen can do that at times. I don't know. Martial touched like a trampoline. Lazy Lad says, come on Newcastle, put the Manx out of their misery. Which I think might be Ethan, actually. Yeah, go on, stick him in the...
I actually thought he got it right with his team selection. I actually looked at it, I thought it makes sense to me.
It does.
Hannibal in there, Casemiro coming back makes sense, obviously. Taking Rashford out, taking Rasmus Højlund out, I kind of get, because I think sooner or later you've got to. So I looked at it, I thought, yeah, all right, I fancy us now.
Yeah.
I before the game, for the preview, I said I thought we'd lose, but when I saw the two teams, Newcastle have rested a few players, and we've rested the right players, I thought, we can win it. And then within, 10 minutes they've taken the lead, or whatever it was, 15 minutes?
Yeah. Little moments as well, like Hannibal getting booked for that one that he did, which was never a booking, meant that he couldn't put a tackle in for their counter-attack, which led to a goal.
Yeah.
I'm not blaming the referees being 2-0 down, because we're awful at the minute, but just those little things, like that shot that they have for their second goal, he can't do that. Like, he's never scored a goal in his career, and he's pinging it first time into the very bottom corner. Just fucking United playing badly, plus Newcastle getting a little bit of luck here and there. It's just meant once again we're in this position now where we've got to drag ourselves up through. Like, we can never just be in control. It's always against all the odds, despite the first half. Like dragging ourselves from here or whatever. Like, it's just fucking difficult every single time. Every game is difficult.
It's really bad. Yeah. Really poor.
All right, go on, Anthony Martial. I thought he was going to play Garnacho in there. Martial. Dallo's had a shot. Ooh. Not far off. You don't really want him hitting it though.
No, not really. I know he banged one in against Sheffield United, but it's just 5 minutes of injury time.
Yeah.
So 4 shots from us in this half, 5 from Newcastle. They've had 3 on target. We've had 1 on target. They've had 11 touches in our box. We've had 5 in theirs. It just never really looked like scoring, have we?
No, that's a problem.
Like, they had that chance that fell to Mount where he didn't know what he was doing with it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else have we had.
Mount where he slid in at the near post.
But again,
it would be almost impossible to get in, really. I know. The fucking hell.
See what I mean? No, it's just little things like that. Look,
Yeah, nervy.
Gordon there, harrying, not giving up.
Yeah. Good pass out now, look, fucking hell. Right pass. Come on. Don't force it. Well done. Keep the ball. Well done, that's good.
Come on, get
I
a
thought he was
goal
just
before
gonna
the
boot
second
it on
half,
there.
or before half time even.
Casemiro clips it in. Martial.
Go on, Anthony.
Oh, take a touch there.
Do you know what I mean?
Worst case scenario, you get kicked and you win a penalty. Why would you not?
It's just another half from Anthony where he's done bits of okayness.
Yeah.
That's it.
Go on then, Garnacho. 3-on-1 there. Look. Ooh, good effort.
Decent
from
effort.
Mount.
That's brought
Corner
the save.
to
We've got a
United.
corner. I expect the keeper to save it, but it's
Yeah.
a decent effort from there, to be fair.
Yeah.
Mount, what has he got? 20 yards out there, 25 yards.
Yeah.
Got hold of
A bit
it.
of movement on it.
Yeah.
It swings a bit to the right, this, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's not a bad shot.
Comfortable, really, but
Yeah, I mean,
good shot, though.
The only way that's going is if the keeper does a Ramsdale.
Hold on, that's better. Back to him.
Anthony.
Everyone's doing that today, aren't they? Where
Yeah.
you've got 2 seconds to take a cross and you're using 3. Out wide, don't hit it. Well done.
Again, what you just said.
Yeah.
Holding on to the ball for too
I
long.
was surprised that Newcastle, hurry you on the ball?
And now we're going back. Go
That's
forward,
literally
man.
all they do. The best thing Newcastle are good at, or the thing that Newcastle are best at, should I say,
Yeah.
is unrelenting pressure and just running at you. And we're surprised that they're doing it. Hard working, hard running, that's what they
This
do.
worries me as well.
Yeah, me too.
Look
That's
at all
too
the
easy.
space there, man. Stay with him. Oh my God. You think we'd be all over him just before our time, and it's the other way around.
Well, we had a couple of minutes, didn't we? And then that's it.
Yeah.
Then it's back to them. There you go again.
Are they Olating?
I mean, come on, you're only fucking 2-0 up. Jesus Christ.
Honestly, it just gets worse. It gets worse before it gets. It doesn't even get better. It just
will
gets
get better.
worse and worse.
It will get better at some point. Well, it could not. We could just get relegated a few times and then not exist as a club. There is always that possibility that it does just continue to get worse for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, it's unlikely, but who knows? 10 seconds of this half left. Dallo, go on then, lad. There you go.
I'm
Half
gonna do a little Insta.
Manchester United 0, Newcastle United 2. Half time. We'll hear from Scotty in just a second. Ethan, give me your thoughts on that first half. One where Newcastle went from even yourself, you thought, not a great team, heavily rotated, we're going to struggle here, to all of a sudden United can't do anything going forward and you're 2-0 up.
Well, yeah, I think that Newcastle team that was so put out, I predicted 2-0 Man United for my prediction. I said 0 for Newcastle because I didn't really think we had any firepower. And to be honest, we've had about 3 shots on target, 2 have gone in, but 2 really well-worked goals, I think, to be fair, catching Manchester United out. And United really haven't done much at all. They haven't really threatened Newcastle. There's heavily rotated Newcastle who, on paper, is a lot weaker than Manchester United. But I think the thing that Newcastle have, that Manchester United don't have, is an identity. They knew how they were going to play today. It was high pressing, it was high pressure. We're going to force mistakes from Man United. We're going to trace after the ball. Man United seem a bit disjointed. Obviously, the 2 holding midfielders, Casemiro, Hannibal as well, getting yellow cards as well has meant that they're a little bit less willing to get stuck in midfield like our team are at the minute. Yeah. But I'd probably say for Newcastle, it's been pretty comfortable. It doesn't feel like the Man United of old.
It's not like you've been that good. No. It's just like United haven't done anything.
Well, yeah.
And that's not to even diss Newcastle, but you haven't had to be very good to be 2-0 up, have you? That's the worrying thing for me. You've had 3 shots and you're 2-0
up? I would agree with that.
3 shots on target.
But the one thing I would say during defensive Newcastle is, again, the game plan's there. Yeah. It's hassling United. It's counter-attacking quickly. It's putting pressure on you. And that's how our 2 goals have came about. Catching you out down that left side, moving the ball quickly, and we've got 2 goals from it. So the 2 goals have been well worked, to be fair, but I agree. Newcastle haven't blown United away, have they?
No. I mean, they have scoreline-wise, but not in terms of performance. Scotty, you sat there, you're chuckling, but I can't imagine you're feeling too happy.
I'm chuckling because what else are you going to do? Cry? Yeah. Absolute omni-shambles. Yeah. I think the Almiron, was it coming up for Taggart early on in the game, has served them well, because ever since he's come on, they've all gone at Dalot like hyena. You can imagine David Attenborough doing like a voiceover. They can smell blood down there on the right back, and they're flying down there. The embarrassing thing is this was an ideal opportunity for Ten Hag to get a result against what is a massively weakened Newcastle team. I think they've got like 5 fullbacks on there, and 2 of them have been involved in the goals this evening. The first one, I know you were talking about how fast he went past Mount, but also Garnacho got muscled off the ball dead easily by Livermorento, and the marking around there was terrible. Hall again doesn't usually play for Newcastle United, and it was a great finish. I thought the Maguire's trying to get rid of the ball was a little bit weak in that sense, but I think we're losing it in the sort of desire, because the duels between the 2 teams is just pathetic, really. If you look at the stats,
it's weird that why you find that. It's weird that this keeps happening as well, isn't it? It's like the effort from United, and I know people will say, and fair enough, no one wants to lose. United players don't want to lose. A lot of them are probably trying to play for a place in the first team. But then why do we always get outworked? Why do we always lose the duel? Have you got the stats there?
Yeah, I've got the stats here. So there's out of the duels, Newcastle have won 34, Manchester United have won 18. Ground duels, 67% to Newcastle. Aerial duels won 63% to Newcastle. Dribbles, Manchester United haven't had a single successful dribble the whole game. I mean, that's not surprising, really, with Anthony on the right. He's been disappointing, as he has been for a hell of a long time.
I agree.
And Newcastle have had 57% of successful dribbles. It didn't help with them 2 yellows, with Casemiro and Hannibal getting yellow. To be honest, when you look at Hannibal, could have got sent off, about the 17th minute, where they were very lucky to sort of escape a second yellow there.
Sort of fucked himself there, because if the first one was a yellow, then that second one probably should have been.
That's what I mean. The second one was more of a yellow than the first one. So I think we maybe got a rub of the green there, because it could have easily been down to 10 men. But we're relying now. I imagine he's going to make changes, but we're playing with a team with Anthony Martial up front. We were clutching at straws at best, trying to get a goal. And our XG isn't great. I think we've got 0.23 expected goals.
What's theirs by?
Theirs is 0.5.
I was going to say theirs must be low for the goals they've scored.
They've had I think we both had 5 shots. Yeah. They've had 3 on target and put it at the back of the net twice.
To be fair, if you're looking at the XG there, their second one, especially, I know it doesn't consider who's taking the shot, but it's a fullback who's never scored before. They have had a little bit of luck in that that's gone in.
Yeah.
Like, to have 2 goals from 0.5 XG, you're riding your luck a little bit. Like, do you think there's a case to be made that we're slightly unfortunate and that it's 2 teams who haven't done much and they're 2-0 up, or do you think they've been good and we've been shit?
I just think it's a lot more desire in it. I think they've been a hell of a lot better.
To be in the lead.
Yeah, and Ethan touched on it there. They've come with a game plan, and it's worked to a T. Do you know what I mean? The counter attack, every time we've sort of gone back on the ball, they're chasing every single ball down, and that reflects in the duels. But if you look at our XG on target, we're only 0.36 to get a shot on target, whereas Newcastle are 1.44.
Yeah. We've got a comment here from Mango who says Anthony's got 3 men on him, and he has, and so has Garnacho, and that is good defending. The reason they've got 3 men on them is because their forwards get back, their fullbacks push out, their centre mids cover the space inside. Like, that's what you should have. It shouldn't be the case, as we see, for both goals. Actually, I think for the second goal, it's a 2-on-2 on the right-hand side. But for the first goal, it's a 1-on-1 on the right-hand side. How come when we're attacking, they've got 3 men on our attackers, and when they're attacking, it's 1-on-1? Whoever wins this battle. Look, you see here for the second goal, Dallow's got a 1-on-1 here. It then becomes a 2-on-1 momentarily, and then becomes a 2-on-2, and then obviously Dallow gets caught ball watching. But when we're in that position, they've always got spare men because they defend properly.
Yeah,
it's
they work as a unit, don't they? Yeah. And I think that's what all the better teams are doing in the Premier League at the moment. And there's a lot of, I don't know, individual styles of football today, it seems, in Manchester United. And the strange thing is, this is a different 11 to the one that got dusted on Sunday against Man City, but it's the same problems with different players. But we're relying on Anthony Martial. I can't remember the last time when they scored for United last.
I don't know. I mean, to be fair, what was it, 6 he got last season? I know that's not very good, but I suppose he has scored in the past.
But there's nothing to get through to him. I think he's only had 16. I mean, to be fair to him, he's only had 16 touches in 45 minutes, and that's because there just seems to be a lack of cohesion and understanding from the midfielders behind him, which you sort of expect because you've got the youngness. You know, they look sprightly, don't they, when you're looking at Mount and Garnacho? Yeah. But there's no sort of leadership there as to or direction or style of play or patterns.
No, I agree. It's been really disappointing because everything we said we wanted to say, the opposite has happened. We said we wanted to see the likes of Mount and Anthony step up, take the chances, Martial as well. Not done, so looking forward to seeing Hannibal. I know he can be alright, but you're looking forward to seeing him. He gets that early yellow, like you saying, Scott, it could have been a second yellow. So that sort of clips his wings a bit. So you're not getting the Hannibal you want. He's not going into tackles there. For their first goal, there's an opportunity for him to stick his foot in. He don't want to because he knows he's on a yellow, and he probably would have got a second yellow if he'd have stuck his foot in, and it'd have been a foul. So, but I'm not blaming him for that goal, sorry, because I think Mount should do more, and Dalot shouldn't be switching off. Yeah. We were praising Dalot before, and he's been relatively reliable, but then both goals he can do better for me.
It's like they've targeted him as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and you were talking then about them getting back in numbers. A player who I thought he was all right at Everton, I didn't think he was that amazing, was Anthony Gordon. But he's impressed me tonight because he's been a threat and defensively he's been useful. Yeah. Because he keeps getting back, he keeps getting in Anthony's face, and then he's going doing his business at the other end of the pitch, which is exactly what you want from an attacking player. And you look at ours, Garnacho's not got going, and Anthony's done what Anthony does for me almost every game. Some good touches, gets hold of the ball quite a lot. Has he done anything with it? No. I do feel a bit sorry for Garnacho though, because he's been in the team in fits and starts, and it'll be one of them tonight as well where I can see him getting subbed for Marcus. Yeah. And people saying, "Oh well, you know," the manager going, "Right, well I tried Garnacho. That's it now. It'll be Marcus starting against Fulham." And I feel he might need a bit of a run, Garnacho. He might need a few more games or whatever, but it's not really happening for him this season. No. And I do feel sorry for him because I don't blame 20-year-olds who've barely started for United anyway as being the part of the problem. I think when you look at our team, when you've got a team, it's got Lindelof, it's got Dalot, it's got Maguire, it's got Casemiro, it's got Mount, all these experienced players. Who's stepping up?
Yeah. That's the thing, isn't it? When I think all of us. I mean, I was very sceptical that United could get anything tonight, but when I seen the lineup, I was like, yeah, we can do this tonight because, you know, regardless, form goes out the window because that is a massively weakened Newcastle United team. They just seem better drilled in this first 45 minutes.
Second half, I think Hannibal's got to come off.
I think he will. Yeah. I think, and from the brief thing we saw with Bruno putting his bib on, when it looked like Hannibal had a knock, even though he didn't, I think it'll be Bruno for Hannibal. I think he's going to go for Marcus for Garnacho. Yeah. I think he will, just because despite Marcus Rashford having a bit of a a very poor season in terms of goals, he's still capable.
He's screaming out. Still, we're 2-0 down, but that defence is still a weakened defence, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's an ideal time for a Højlund or a Marcus Rashford to go up front and score. What have you made of Mount's performance? Because a lot riding him this, starting the game, trying to make a market, which hasn't happened so far at Manchester United.
If I was to give him a rating,
what do you think his rating is?
First half, I'd give him a 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Okay. He had a shot that was decent. He's had a couple of good touches. But I still think for the first goal,
it's a big mistake.
He's got to do better there. He's got to. Because when I talk about experienced players, I know he's only been at United for 5 minutes, but he's played a lot of football, Mason Mount. He's a 24-year-old, I think. He's been in the Premier League for 3.5 seasons, whatever it is. He's not a kid. He's a Champions League winner, a fully fledged England international, and someone who's been in the Premier League for 3 straight seasons, if not a little bit longer. He knows how to play football. He knows what he should be doing. He should be taking a foul there, even if it's a yellow. Mason Mount could get a yellow. I don't worry about him getting a second one because he's not that guy.
Or even just turn round and run with him.
Yeah.
Like, instead of going halfway, not fouling him, not taking him out, having all your momentum going the wrong way, when you can see Hannibal's with him anyway, what you can't do is just sort of step in and not foul him. And you can't do that.
And when you look at that, and when you look at this team now and you go, okay, we've rotated, but you are still playing your £60 million goalkeeper that you bought, your £70 million midfielder that you bought, your £60 million midfielder that you bought, your £75 million attacker that you bought. You can't just blame it on what you've inherited or other players. A lot of these players you've paid a lot of money for because you wanted him, and they're not doing what it says on the tin. I don't think Casemiro, Mount or Ante, I don't really blame Onana for either goal, to be fair to the kid, but I don't think any of them have really shone this half.
No, not at all. I think at the midfield, Casemiro's got the better stats, and that's recoveries of 9.
He's been okay. I'll
He looked a bit leggy post the yellow card. I think that's down to him not wanting to dive in.
I'm not going to argue with that. He's been all right.
He's been better than a bad bunch.
But my point is, as a manager, when you're under the cosh and you've got 200 million quid's worth of your talent getting turned over, people are going to ask questions, man.
Does this feel like Groundhog season from managers past, these sort of results?
In my group chat, someone was saying one of the comments was this was as bad as Van Gaal, and then someone else said at least with Van Gaal we kept clean sheets, and I feel like it does feel like that.
But you said it during the watch-along first half. It was like if we've got a Champions League campaign that we can sort of hook our season on. Yeah. This probably was our sort of we could go for this. Yeah. City are out. Looks like Arsenal going out. Yeah. 2 Carabao Cups on the bounce.
That could have saved you. Yeah. I'm not saying he's definitely going to get sacked, but if you're in the Carabao Cup and you win it in February, you might get away with finishing 6th. You might. Yeah. They might go, all right, back-to-back trophies. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? All right, we're not in the Champions League this season, but let's stick with this manager. He's won us 2 trophies in 2 years. Let's give him 1 more season. If you're out of all the cup competitions, because let's face facts, we're hanging by a thread in Europe, and the likelihood is we go to Copenhagen whenever it is next week, and we don't get a result, and that's the end of that. League's over already, and then all your hopes are on the FA Cup.
Yeah.
And no.
Would you like some good news?
Always.
Go on.
What was your little Newcastle United James Bond puns?
Oh yeah. Go on. Mine was Golden Isaac.
Because the football was so bad, I've gone with License to Cruel.
That's good. That's good. That's why he's a wordsmith.
That's not bad.
Hey, that's why he's a published author.
That was more entertaining than the football.
It was. I'm not even arguing with you. For once, we're not arguing. I know. I've enjoyed that, Scotty. Good stuff, my brother.
Cheers.
We'll get some more thoughts from you later on.
Yeah. In terms of second half,
we have to?
What can we do?
Do we have to play it?
What
can we not
do?
just say you've won? Forget
we
it.
can't.
We'll go home. Let's call it 2-0 to you. For me, I'd go turbo now. Subs wise.
In what sense?
Get Wan-Bissaka on. Get Bruno on.
Wan-Bissaka is coming on. There you go.
There you go then, you see. He's listening to me. And maybe I'd bring on Rasmus Højlund.
Yeah, I think I probably would as well. We've got a few
Amrabat's on as well, I think.
Oh yeah, there you go. We've got a few super chats.
So Amrabat, sorry.
Wait, Hannibal's still on.
I think he's taken off. Is it Mount?
And Casemiro? What the fuck?
Oh no, are they doing the... No, what's going on? What is going on? Can we have a little bit of volume, please, my friend?
How bizarre. What's going on here? Is he taking Casemiro off? I don't think he's been bad, Casemiro. Really? Do you?
I thought he did okay.
Yeah?
I sort of, mentioned him as someone who's been a bit underwhelming. You pointed out he's been okay, and I agreed with you.
Dallow's been brought off. He looks gutted, and he would be. But I think it's fair. He's had a stinker today. He's certainly at fault for the first goal, or one of the people at fault for the first goal. 18. It is Casemiro off. I wonder if he's not got the legs. Maybe he couldn't play full 90. Maybe he's not happy with him. I don't know. I'm surprised Hannibal stayed. This is going to be one of them. Hannibal's going to get sent off, and everyone's going to have a right go at Ten Hag for taking Casemiro off when Hannibal was on a booking. I mean, they're both on a booking, and Casemiro got sent off 3 times last season, so maybe it's not the stupid... Or 3 times since he joined United, so maybe he's the one who's the risk. Surprising there. We've got a few super chats.
I never thought I'd say this, but I don't think it matters that much.
What, Casemiro?
Yeah. Like you said, he's been okay. Yeah. It's not like I'm going, oh my God, what is he doing? Rah.
Yeah. But then what does... I think, for me, Hannibal loses a lot from being on a booking because of his style.
He does, but
he
can carry the ball. He can get forward.
Yeah.
Like, I know Casemiro scored some goals this season, but there's a bit of an energy and a zip to Hannibal's attacking play as well, let's not forget. So maybe he's thinking of that. He's thinking, get on the ball and carry it. Do you know what I mean? Let Amrabat do the tackling.
Maybe he's annoyed at Casemiro for getting booked after Hannibal was booked. Like, I don't even know.
That's a foul and a yellow. Thank you.
Booking, yeah.
Lewis, is that water there, bro?
We've got a few super chats while Jay gets juicy. Abhinav Vermet says, players not running and people think this means the manager should go. These lot are on their 5th manager, a lot of them. These crybabies should go. There's an interesting point in there, to be honest. Indiscipline from Hannibal, says Josh, but I find it hard to be annoyed with him. He looks like the only one who's giving a shit. Parag says Martial can no longer be considered a footballer. Unfortunately, I think I agree with that. Burnside is back. Of all the managers post-Fergie, he's the worst. Not the only issue, but the worst manager of the lot. He's got a 10 plus 10 lifetime goal difference. It's so poor, I'd bite your hand off for vibes. Clark Kent says, they're good and we're shit. Summarises this game and our whole season, to be honest. Kizza says we look lost. No patterns of play at all. Wan-Bissaka getting on the ball there.
Scotty, there's a Fanta in there for you, by the way, bro.
Little Fanta.
It was just Fanta. Right, Ethan, tell us what you think of life.
Richard Keys.
Of life, Jay?
Yeah. Yes. You confident now, 2-0 up against one of the worst United sides ever? Is the game in the bag?
Well, I imagine you've changed your formation, I think. So maybe that'll help you, Jay. Maybe get a little bit more inventive out there on the field. But if we're going off the first half, Jay, I'm not too terrified from Man United. My heart isn't beating rapidly. I'm quite calm. If you're to put my finger in one of those
keep going
oximeters.
Yeah. Sorry.
Sound like you were.
Sorry, bro. Anthony just then.
Go on then.
Too much on it. Has he kept it in? He's kept it in.
It was a tough one for Martial there. Near post.
Yeah, he's done well there, Wan-Bissaka.
Decent start for United second half.
I need to turn my phone over.
Yeah, good idea. Corner team.
Go on, Amrabat.
Go on. Harry.
Oh, God.
That's a good pass. Go on, Mason. Flips it in. Shite.
Awful.
Don't let Anthony Gordon win the ball here. Well done. Elliot says the real problem is Newcastle have looser socks.
Good point.
That is a good point.
He's spotted that.
Yeah. Our socks are all tight, which means that we can't.
Our goalkeeper's wearing a kid's top, so he couldn't move for any of their shots.
Would you blame Onana for any of their goals?
No, absolutely not.
Me neither.
I think Delo's at fault in defence. When Onana comes out for the first one, you could argue why didn't he come out a bit quicker, but I don't really think it's his fault. I think it's a decent finish, to be fair.
Yeah.
I also think that it's Delo who's culpable more for that than
both
anyone else.
Both side netting, aren't they?
It's not. No. And then for the second one, he's hit it just where it needs to go.
Yeah.
And
like where the post meets the net.
Yeah,
it couldn't have been more in the corner, could it? That's a foul.
Don't react.
And that's a booking as well, surely, by first half standards.
See, this is what you get with Hannibal.
Yeah.
It can be against him, the fact he's a complete lunatic, but it can also help you.
Yeah. You do want to see a bit of that, especially in moments like this, because we need something extraordinary now to win this game. Like, I know getting 2 goals against Newcastle isn't that extraordinary, but when you think what this game could mean as like a sliding doors moment of where we were last season, where they were, Ten Hag's managerial sort of status at United, all of it, it's a massive game, this. And you need a bit of Hannibal getting the crowd up for it. That's better. Deeper. Maguire. God, actually, I jumped over it there by accident. Oh.
He's all right.
Good lad.
It's a tough lad, Alejandro.
Right, go on.
That's a ball, that.
Bit of space at the back post for Anthony. What you got? Not much.
So stupid.
Man on, man on, man on! Okay, now. Wan-Bissaka looked over his shoulder, but it didn't look over the other shoulder. What was Wan-Bissaka's injury again? Was it hamstring?
I think so, yeah. Oh, Arsenal have been beaten 3-1 at West Ham.
They'll frame that like it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Won't they?
It's a good thing we've not won another trophy.
Yeah, because we were trying to win
we never
specific different trophy.
Yeah. We're focusing on the FA Cup this year.
Go on then, lads. That's good. Good running. Win that, Hannibal. Hold on. No. He can't.
He's done well there that Joe Linton stayed on his feet.
Fucking hell.
What you were thinking there, Maguire, is anyone's guess. Just going to head that down into the oncoming attacker.
Into oncoming traffic.
All right, come on, let's keep this energy going.
It's so fast, isn't it, when we get the ball? We try and play it so quick and we never just control the game and hold the possession and build up. It's like we get it and we just smash it into
give him a chance, Martial.
Lose it.
What sort of a pass is that? Why has he levered it at him at waist height?
Like he's trying to beat him in touch.
Like what are you doing there when you had time to just pass it to him on the floor?
Hold on. Oh, don't be off.
Honestly, it's infuriating. I feel for Garnacho.
Yeah. That was just stupid from Martial.
It was when it just laziness.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just the lack of options for us is really deflating, innit? Like, for strikers, I like Højlund, but he's still not scored a goal in English football yet. And Rashford's fallen off a cliff, and he's not a striker. It's just.
Hold on. Keep that.
Do you just get Højlund on though? Because of his energy and the fact that, despite his lack of goals, he is playing well.
And also, despite his lack of goals, he is at least a human being. Whereas I can't confirm that with Martial at the minute. He doesn't seem to do anything you would expect from a striker, does he? Like there, even hold-up play. Like the ball that came to Martial was relatively slow.
Yeah, it wasn't difficult.
The man wasn't right up his arse. He was on him, but he wasn't putting those pressure. And he just smacks it at Garnacho 6 yards away. Like you said, hip height. Like, what's that? What do you expect? Wan-Bissaka, don't you hit it. Amrabat.
No, it just got caught under his feet a little bit now, wasn't it?
Played it slightly behind him. Wan-Bissaka.
No, I get your point, because that was really annoying that from Martial when he did that.
And it's not like he's doing anything else, is it?
I feel like Højlund might just give you that little bit of a of a bump.
At least he's got some of the physical attributes to sort of. He can head the ball. He's fast. He's strong. He could just sort of push someone out of the way and toe the ball in the back of the net. Martial, the desire's not really there. The touch isn't there. Partly maybe because he don't play very much football at the minute, but that's not we need to win this game, not worry about getting Martial's minutes up.
Marcus Rashford's, I see he's warming up. He's got a coat and a hat on. I don't think it's too imminent, his arrival. I think it's just go and have a little bit of a jog.
Hoyland, on the other hand, he's got his jacket off. Right,
hey,
come on then.
Go on, Anthony.
Now what, though? What we got? Oh, that's not much. Walden Mason. It's a foul. That's a yellow card as well there. What? Is he offside? Who's offside? Who's offside?
Is he, though?
He don't do anything. He's not involved in play at all. Is he? Also, the pass that Martial was offside because of, that would have needed to go through for him to be through on goal, would have been one of the greatest passes in the history of football. Like
that's
that
bizarre.
Ball in behind wasn't on at all, was it?
No, it's all just a lot of nonsense, that. And Reguilon's pushed him now, but he's got away with it. Well, go on, ride the challenge. That's a yellow, that, when you play it back. No, Hannibal, that's terrible. Don't fly in. Don't fly in. Oh, you are asking for trouble, you, Medjbury.
Sound like a teacher there.
I know. And again, he's got the ball, though. He's got the ball. He's got the ball.
Find a pass. Don't do
you know what? Get him
that.
off. Seriously. Just sub him. How many times have I got to watch that? Him cutting onto his left foot and blasting it over. And I wouldn't mind, look how far off this shot is from being on target.
I know.
Right? It's probably ended up in Salford. Watch.
Yeah,
it's 10 yards, if not more, over the bar. I don't want to hate on the guy, but he's just not very good at football.
He needs to realise that the best chance we have of scoring isn't him curling it from 25 yards out. That's a 1 in 20, 1 in 30 chance.
Literally, if you look at his goals to games ratio.
You need to try and create chances that are 1 in 2, 1 in 3. Like for other people or for yourself. And coming in and your only threat being cutting in and hitting it from the edge of the box. That's not a successful winger.
The longer he's on the pitch
do
doing
more
that,
than that,
the more under threat tonight's job is. Honestly. Because the more people look at it and go, you spent 70 odd million quid on this kid and you'd watched him for 2 seasons. Are you mental? I hope he makes me eat my words. I really do. But I just don't see it in him at all.
Nothing on here Garnacho either. He's going to have to do it all.
Well done, lad. You've done all you could do there.
We do this thing where when our wingers got the ball, our fullback sort of cuts in and sits on the edge of the 18-yard box.
Yeah.
So what ends up happening is the winger is completely isolated by themselves.
Yeah.
So you see, that's one of the reasons I think Rashford so far has struggled to sort of go past people. Garnacho, you see it tonight, he wants to go past people, but he's got 1 or 2 men on him at all times. But I don't know, obviously it's for a reason, it's to try and create and exploit something. It's obviously a tactical thing. But what is the supposed benefit? How are we meant to get a benefit out of the fullback not supporting the winger? I don't know what that is. I don't know what the tactic is.
I don't either, bro.
Mount as well.
I know. Another game passes in my man. Come on. You're almost an hour in now. Thing is as well, right, you look at some of these defeats, if this stays like this, like De Zerbi, Howe, Hodgson, who's in charge of Galatasaray, you're getting outsmarted by managers who, if you got sacked, I wouldn't want them managing us. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like,
United have had 79% possession in the second half,
so
which I suppose is an improvement in one area compared to the first half, but the main area is creating chances hasn't got any better.
Yeah.
It's a bit better. We're playing better now than we were in the first half. I will say that. Newcastle have barely had the ball, but we need to turn that into chances because there's a lot of this. Pass it round, try and go forward, lose it, win it back, pass it round, try and go forward, lose it. So now we're trying to go forward. It's a great touch from Garnacho. It's gone the wrong way there though. Come back. See now what? What do we do from here? What's the plan? Couple of 1-2s around the edge. And then we're crossing it to Martial. He's never going to win header there, is he?
Not bad, that unlucky.
I must say my heart rate's gone up a bit now.
We're cynical, pissed off Man United fans. What are you making of the second half, Ethan? Yeah, he could.
Honestly,
he could.
He genuinely could have
won that header.
Yeah, that's not a bad ball at all. It's there to be won.
I know. Sorry, Ethan. Go on. What do you make of this second half?
I think you're obviously dominant in terms of possession, Joe. Like you said, you're not really making any chances yet. But I feel if you keep having this much of the ball, Newcastle keep sitting deep.
Yeah.
The odds are that United will make a really decent chance soon. So Newcastle need to ride out the next 10 minutes or so and keep the scoreline the same, I think.
Oh, that's poor. You might make it 3-0 here. Amrabat giving the ball away.
Of course it is.
There we go. 3-0.
3-0.
Fucking hell. That's how you do it.
Well, I must say I retract my previous statement. 3-0
cheers.
is a lot better.
Why do we do it to ourselves? Do you think we could change this channel to a film review channel or something?
No, because
then films would get shit.
Films would be shit.
Yeah. Or a book club.
I don't understand. They've literally not touched the ball in the second half. We've had 80% possession. They get it once and they fucking score. Have we even had a shot on target second half? Amrabat, the twat, just completely fucks that up twice. He has a header that he can head away, doesn't. Then you've got fucking Anthony Gordon playing pick and roll basketball blocks on Harry Maguire, taking him out of the game. No one closes him down. No one gets near him. It's a great finish. But fucking hell. It's absolute fundamentals.
Keep getting outwitted by these managers, man. Eddie Howe's just got it right. They've soaked up pressure. They've hit us on the break, and they've got the third. For all our energy and effort and possession, what has Martin Dubravka had to do this game?
Nothing.
Like literally
nothing.
Do you know what I mean? We've not tested him at all.
I know.
And he looks a bit erratic when we had him. But you'd never know. Because
he's an average goalkeeper.
Yeah, we've done nothing on him. Do you know what I mean? I think he had one where Martial went near post, he was never going to score.
Look at that one. Just a hopeful cross. And
I can hear the Newcastle fans on the telly as well.
Look who you're crossing to.
Give it back.
Putting big, heavy, deep crosses in. Right from the touchline. So there's no finesse on them. They're just a kick into the box. For fucking Anthony Martial.
Oh, Mount, what are you doing? Get him off as well. How many subs can we make? Seriously.
Hold on. Triple change for United coming up.
What? We can make another 3?
We're subbing all their goals off for 3 goals for us.
Honestly, you could take anyone off now. You could even take on the subs we brought on.
Yeah. Well, Amrabat there. Literally had 2 ways to not fuck that up, and he just took too long on the ball, dispossessed in the centre of the pitch.
Go on, Alejandro. Keep going, son.
Again, look, it's 3-on-1. Who we got? Hoyland. It's got to be Rashford and Bruno, isn't it? So it's Hoyland, Bruno. Yeah, Hoyland, Bruno, and Rashford. Praveen says, "Why have we bought Onana if he's staying in net? What should he have scored?" We've had 80% possession in the second half. What do you want him to do?
I love that.
Hell.
It's just when you've had enough, innit?
Yeah, just get Onana up front.
Why is Onana not shooting?
It's it. Why aren't he shooting from goal kicks, Jay? Bring back LVG or get Strachan in to steady the ship. What is it? Is it fucking 1988? Strachan. This is madness, isn't it? There is an element of this is almost freakish, what we're seeing in it. It is like the universe has written United are just going to lose every game. Like, and the ways we're losing, the fact that we are 3-0 down in a game where Newcastle have had 4 shots on target.
Have they not done what they should have done, though?
Yeah, I'm not saying we shouldn't be 1-0 down or whatever. That literally everything they've hit on target has gone in, and Onana has made 0 mistakes. They have had a slice of luck. We've been shit. They deserve to be in the lead. I'm not saying either of those things aren't true. But the fact that this game that we've all watched is 3-0 to Newcastle is mental. Surely.
Would you like a little stat?
Give me a stat.
Manchester United have now had more captains tonight, 3, than shots on target, 2.
Brilliant.
That's the real quiz.
That is the real quiz. Newcastle are 3-0 up off 0.64 XG. Maybe that's my point in a more succinct way. That's what I'm trying to say. That's mad.
I hear you, bro. I do. I get your point.
That's a booking.
I just feel like I'm in a stage of...
Can we get him booked for that? You're allowed to You're allowed to block someone off, stop them from running? Why is that not a booking?
Anthony stays on the pitch as well, man.
The problem is you can't sub everyone off.
I know you can't.
And we ain't got enough good alternatives to some of these players. That's the other issue. Who do you put on at right wing?
I don't know. Maguire.
No, apparently.
I trust Maguire shooting with his left foot more than I trust Anthony.
He did it, that absolute banger. Was it Tranmere?
Tranmere, yeah.
What a goal.
Aye.
Right, come on, get an early one. Out wide, well done. Oh, he's fired that. No. Well done. Bad.
Just
Actually,
awful.
Terrible. Sorry, I thought it was well done. It wasn't. Well done, Bruno. Mark Hatton says, the fact we still have Martial just shows how little ambition the club has. We can change the manager, but nothing will change till the Glazers go.
It won't, and you're right. And I was saying this on Monday. I can agree with that and still think the players that are on the pitch should be doing better. Like Mason Mount should have done better for that first goal. Diogo Dalot should have done better for that first goal as well.
Yeah.
Amrabat should do better for the third.
He's fucking ducked out there as well.
Anthony has done nothing again. So you're right, the Glazers are parasitic, toxic, whatever you want to say, and a club rots from the top down. I hear all that, but I also think that some of these players need to take a long hard look at themselves, because it's been another one where they've just faxed it in. Can't be bothered.
It's just those moments, innit? Those little moments where it turns out that they've just cost us a goal every time. Like Mount not making that foul. Dalot not watching his man.
No.
Amrabat giving the ball away. And they've just been punished every time today.
And that's it. Come on, Bruno. Let's just make a game of it, man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm sick of seeing us not scoring.
I know.
Honestly.
We're doing this thing again that we do. Bruno drops deep and just fucking boots it upfield. We're not going to make chances like that. How many games in a row do we have to do this? Bruno turns, looks up, boots it. Or we pass it around, go back to someone who boots it.
Get off on your toes.
Oh.
It's embarrassing on all fronts, man.
It's the goals, isn't it? It's the scoring goals again. I know
Said it before the game.
3-0's bad, but it's nil every time. It's just fucking nil.
It is. Like, what was it? What? I know what I'll do. I'll hit the ball as hard as I can.
Yeah. Even if it was 0-0, you'd still fancy Newcastle to win on penalties.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that we don't score goals, and I'm going to say the most obvious thing ever, means we cannot win football matches.
I know what you're saying. I know
but like,
obvious,
it's
but I know why you're saying
insane.
it.
It's insane
Yeah,
how few goals we score. And we haven't looked like scoring today. We haven't missed any big chances. Nothing. I was on about before them being 3-0 up from 0.6 XG. United XG is 0.4. So it's not. To be fair, it's not even far off theirs, but it's still shit.
No excuses, man. There's no excuses when you're playing a weakened Newcastle team. You've just been beaten, battered in the derby. What, restore a bit of pride. What, show what you're about, whether you're a starter or not a starter, whatever it is. And instead, you just put in a 4 out of 10 performance at best. Look at those players that have gone off. Like, Garnacho, I don't care. I'll give him a pass because he's a youngster and he's tried. He's had no support. Hannibal didn't really do a lot. If
The
we're
booking
being honest,
fucked him,
the
didn't it?
booking screwed him, but it's still, yeah, okay, you might say it's a bit harsh, but it's still him getting booked.
Yeah.
It's not like he's completely blameless in
No, he
everything.
did foul the
Yeah, and he's not really done much. Fuck off. Just shut up. Honestly. What even is that? Like, honestly, it amazes me when you see things like that.
Yeah. There's a man out wide as well who's open there. It's this thing where we resort to just playing like dickheads, like booting it long, having shots from 25 yards out over and over again. Like, I know obviously they're frustrated, but the way to score 3 goals, although actually I'm saying that pretty much what Newcastle have done, but the way to score 3 goals isn't hit it 3 times from the edge of the 18-yard box. No. Like, that's ridiculous. We need to make chances. We need to actually create chances, not just hit and hope. And look, Newcastle do a little bit of a press. Can we get round it? Not really. Just about. Lindlow's been fouled twice.
Fucking hell, ref. How many times? 3 fouls on the spin?
They're in that mode now as well, Newcastle, aren't they? They're so good at this.
Yeah.
They'll just make the rest of this game horrible, choppy, just fucking an absolute slugfest.
I hope so, because my main concern is they're going to keep attacking and get another fucking 3 goals.
Well, they might get another goal. They score quite a lot. They're good at scoring
swear
goals.
to God, every pass is brainless.
Don't foul him, don't foul him.
It's just so woeful all over the pitch.
Is he offside? It don't matter anyway.
You couldn't control it, man. Come on, man. At least make a fight of it. At least get some pride in there.
I know. We've got
There's
to score
nothing.
one, surely. Let's get a shot on target. And he'll be down for fucking 10 minutes and then carry on.
Little does he know he's doing us a favour.
Great. Walking off. You alright? Who's that? Dan Burn coming on? Don't just put a hopeful cross in. We don't know what to do we?
So poor, it really is.
We don't know how to make chances.
Well, that's
Look
just
at
going
the
to
state
get
of this.
like.
Look at the state of this. How did we score last season? How did we score under Fergie, under Solskjaer? Like, I can't even imagine how you would make a chance. What does it look like when you actually like create chances in games?
I don't know, my brother.
It's mad. It feels like even I know under Solskjaer there was a season. We got 100 goals one season, didn't we? Under Solskjaer,
Yeah.
when what was it? Greenwood, Rashford, Martial got like 60 goals between them. There's a front three. But like, other than that, for 10 years, United just can't score. Van Gaal couldn't score. Solskjaer stopped being able to score. Maybe under Jose we did for a little bit, but Ten Hag we can't score. Just absolutely mad.
Bayern Munich get knocked out of the cup tonight.
Well, Carabao.
The Polka, whatever it's called.
Don't know. Maybe. It's all right when they do it though, because they're probably going to win the league. This is our best thing.
I'm just curious because, like, imagine, because they're second in the league.
Imagine
they didn't actually win a trophy.
they just got caned.
Oh, imagine that. That'd be amazing.
Go on then, he's on. That's an easy pass. Go on, Anthony. Do something. Find a pass. That's a lovely pass. And Bruno has scuffed it.
Awful.
Great from, well, not great. Good pass from Anthony there.
Bruno's got to hit the target now.
Yeah, come on. He
Let's
could
have a
even
look at
square it. Yeah,
It's a good pass.
It's a really good pass.
It's a good run.
Yeah, he couldn't
Get
square
your
it. He's got
foot
to
round
hit
it.
Yeah.
It's basic, that.
He's usually good at that as well. He scored a few of them.
That just sums it up, doesn't it? Sums everything up. That would have been your last chance to make a bit of a game of it for the last 15.
Yeah.
But now, forget it. Not happening. Just poor.
Yeah. Bloody hell. Look at them two. Gandalf and Frodo coming on for Newcastle. How tall's Dan Burn, Ethan? 6'6". And how tall's Kieran Trippier? 5'6". No, he ain't. Is he? 178, what's that? 5'10" he is. Christ. He didn't look that tall there. I never thought he was that tall. In my head, he's really small. But, you know, we've learned a lot today, haven't we? About ourselves. Go on, at least have it. Right, I think, technically, we could call this game a win if United have one shot on target.
Shut up.
Okay.
That's not going to happen. Stop talking so bloody soft.
I'm sort of, I'm a little bit stunned, actually. I can't really believe what we're watching. That, like, every single week, this happens. We just keep doing this over and over and over again. It's absolutely bizarre.
My pal just sent me a picture of him outside the game, the ground, going on. He's had enough. Yeah. I don't blame him. Stick around for what?
Well, we might have a shot.
You know what I mean? You might miss Newcastle's 4th goal.
Mason Mount might smack one over from 25 yards.
Yeah, and he might hit you on the way out. When you look at the amount of issues that are going on, the amount of problems, the amount of performances that are below par, it's when the obvious thing to do...
Oh, my God.
I thought that was flying in there.
Yeah, I did.
That's when you look at the obvious thing to do is to change the manager. I'm not saying you should, but that's what clubs do.
Yeah.
They look in and go, well, everything's terrible. We can't get rid of all these defenders, midfielders and attackers.
Yeah.
Let's change the manager.
Yeah. I'm just sick of that, though.
I know, I am.
He's obviously doing terribly.
Yeah.
He's got a lot to answer for.
Regulon.
He's been shit, like whatever. But I can't be arsed with this same repeating cycle. And we get excited for a year and it goes back to this. And we get excited for a year and it goes back to this. Like, I don't understand. Like, if your track record and what you've done at other clubs and who you are as a person doesn't add up to wins, doesn't add up to success, then what does? United, so Jose didn't work, Van Gaal didn't work, Ole didn't work. Okay, I kind of understand why Ole didn't work because he hasn't got much of an experience as a top manager. Ten Hag doesn't work, so we're literally getting to the point where we just have to get like randomly selecting managers around Europe and hoping one of them works. Because picking someone who's a guaranteed success in Jose, it don't mean anything. Picking the same in Van Gaal don't mean anything. Picking the most highly rated up-and-coming manager or one of the most highly rated up-and-coming managers in Europe in Ten Hag doesn't mean anything. So let's just fucking spin the roulette wheel. And eventually we'll find someone. It might be someone that's just works in a news agent round the corner. He might be the right man. Like, we're literally just pressing randomised character on United's fucking manager at this point. Because track record means fuck all with this club. It doesn't make any sense. I can't be arsed. Newcastle has scored again before, by the way. The good thing is, we're 3-0 down and now they're the ones who are making all the chances. As Lindelof... Oh, I forgot to... What am I doing again? Defending, that's it. Yeah, I'll defend from now. Starting from now, I'll start defending. Just ball watching. Their heads have gone today, haven't they? Their heads have gone all season, to be honest. But they've lost it today. We've got to the point where, when it was 2-0, we looked like the team most likely to score. Now it's 3-0. It's gone the other way again. Newcastle are the only ones looking like they're going to score. Amrabat has been relatively useless since he came on. Cost us a goal. Fuck me. Whoever it is, it don't matter who plays. Casemiro not playing very well. Hannibal didn't do anything. Amrabat cost us a goal. Eriksen gets ran past every time he's on the pitch. Whoever plays is the same result. Ethan, are you surprised looking at this? Or because I know you watch United when you're working, but obviously you're working and you're not a United fan, so you don't pay that close attention to United games. When you see United tonight, what do you see as a football club?
You don't have an identity. That's the problem. You don't have a There's no real style of play. There's no real plan, it doesn't feel like. It doesn't feel like all the players are moved in the same direction. Identity is the word that I keep going back to, and I know I'm comparing it to Newcastle, Drew, because we're watching them today.
That's all right.
But that's a team who is well drilled, knows what they're doing. Intensity is their identity. That's how they play. Pressing, running, covering the yards. And I don't see that with United. I feel like Ten Hag, when he was brought in at United, they expected this kind of high pressing play style that Newcastle play. I think Newcastle have a better identity than you lot, and you'd like to play this kind of style. I imagine that was the idea with Ten Hag. It was 4-3-3. It was attacking. That's what it was at Ajax.
Yeah, but this hasn't necessarily been a hugely attacking performance from Newcastle, though, has it? For the first 20 minutes of the second half, you had 20% possession, and I'm not having a go, but I'm saying it's. Is that because you're adaptable? Is that because how do you explain that? Because that's not front foot attacking football when you sit back on the edge of your box for 25 minutes.
No, it's not. But today, it's exactly that about adapting.
Right.
They've changed the team today. They've significantly overhauled that starting 11.
Yeah.
They've had to rotate because there's Champions League. There's a lot of injuries and things. And they've went, right, today this is how we're going to play. We've got a weaker 11, arguably, than Man United. That's what we all thought before the ball was kicked.
Well, it is, isn't it? Player for player, what they've won, what they've done. United's 11 is undoubtedly stronger than Newcastle's was at the start of the game.
Yeah.
But obviously it's not turned out like that. It's just bizarre. United's inability to just have a shot on target.
You know what Newcastle are doing though, don't you? We can see, like you just said, they're sitting back, they're deep, they're soaking up pressure, they're counter-attacking. They are, but they're doing it well, aren't they?
I know.
There's a plan about it. Everyone knows what they're doing. I don't know what you're doing.
No,
I don't know what Ten Hag's doing, to be honest with you. I believe he's a good manager. We saw it at Ajax. We know he is. I don't see it in this team. This doesn't look like a team that he's meant to be.
Again,
building.
and I'm asking you this because you are more objective than we are. We've seen 10 years of this.
Sorry,
no, it's okay.
doing some sweets and stuff.
Why do you think we aren't able to see Ten Hag in this team? Do you think we've exposed him as being shit? Do you think what is it? Because no one would ever say his Ajax team didn't have an identity, didn't have a style, didn't work hard for him. What has happened at Man United since he got here? Since last season, let's face it, we looked good for large periods of last season. To get this,
I think a few things. I think what Gary Neville the other day was saying about the toxicity around the club. It's always constantly negative. It's Sancho, it's Greenwood, it's all these things, the ownership, the Glazers. It's just horrible.
Yeah.
You can't have a nice, fruitful kind of team in that environment, can you?
No.
They're stuck. It's rotten to the core. And another big reason, I think, Drew, I think Ten Hag, and I know we're talking about Murto and Arnold who have signed these players. These are Ten Hag's players that he wanted, though. Yeah. The recruitment's wrong. I know I understood the idea with Anthony, etc. Martinez is a good player, but players from Ajax, players from the Dutch league, it worked over there, but it's a different league here. And what also astonishes me was that Ten Hag's comment the other day about he didn't want to play Ajax's style at Man United. Why did Man United go for him then? People liked him because of his style at Ajax. So why is he all of a sudden changing at Man United into something we don't recognise? Yeah. I think recruitment, I think tactics, and I think just Man United in general at the minute, it's so toxic you can't build something successful.
It is horrible, isn't it? It's like you can have the best gardener, the best seeds in the world, but if the land has been salted and burned, nothing's going to grow. It does feel like that. We have these flickers, little buds, little shoots come through, and you get, Carabao Cup. We finished second, we finished third. We've won this under Jose. And then when it comes time for harvest, just nothing grows, does it? It just dies. It just dies every single time. It's fucking horrible.
Good way of putting it.
83 minutes in. Get your thoughts in the comments. T-Man4 says we need to stop giving the manager whatever he wants. There needs to be someone questioning some of these transfers. Yeah, like a scouting department or a director of football. Where are they? Why is it the manager picking all these players? And if it's not the manager picking all these players, it's a strange coincidence.
I think Ethan nailed it then.
Yeah,
bro.
he did.
Everything he said
spoke well there,
was
Ethan.
really well. I've just said to him, clip that up. The thing about the club being toxic and it being a mess and it just being depressing is true. The thing about too many players from the Dutch league or too many signings to start up to it. It's just, it's like we've gone, okay, you can just have it whoever you want without any sort of scouting or any sort of, I don't know. I know he's not always had his first choice targets, but any player he's wanted that we can physically get, we've got for him.
Yeah. On that, to me, if you look at the way the summer unfolded, it feels like United said to Ten Hag, we're not getting you Anthony. Do you know, when you actually look at what happened?
Yeah, of course.
It felt like it's too expensive, we don't think the quality's there, we're not getting him.
Yeah.
Why do you think we ended up with him? Why do you think after
because
all
we
of
got
that?
beat 4-0 off Brentford and we're so reactionary, it's unbelievable.
And
I think they panicked and thought this season's unravelling. Sorry. We can't sack the manager we've just appointed because that would be, even by our standards, insane. So let's get him everyone he wants. We can't get Rabiot over the line. Right, Casemiro, we can get him. Anthony now, if we spend big money, because Ajax are playing hardball, we can get him. That's...
Well done, Marcus. Unlucky. We did well there. That was a hard ball to control there. Oh, God.
I think that's what's happened.
Yeah. And again, that's... Obviously, you give Ten Hag...
What's the runner?
You give Ten Hag some blame for that, of course, or, good amount of blame, whatever. But again, the recruitment, it feels rushed and scared and thoughtless at
Ethan
times.
made a good point there, like the Dutch league's more difficult. You could get away with one or two players. Martinez is a great signing.
Yeah,
I don't care what anyone says.
Season.
He is.
Yeah.
Like, that makes sense. But Martinez and Malacia and Anthony, then you're starting to go, is that a bit overkill?
Yeah. Anthony's the one in it.
Yeah.
Malacia has not been a problem.
Yeah, Malacia's not. I'm being a bit arsed.
The 80 million on Anthony.
But Anthony is a signing that, if Erik ten Hag gets sacked, will be one of the contributing factors. That you went and spent 75 million quid on a player who, for me, isn't even Premier League level. Like, really? I think you struggle to find a team in the top 15 that you'd get in there. I'd rather have Tahith Chong. Honestly, I would. It just does nothing. I love it when Newcastle fans take the tops off in winter. It's mint.
Yeah. That's their natural state. Putting them on is the they think they're showing off when they've got one on. Look at him there. What is that about? He's freezing as well, look. He's dead hard, but he's fucking freezing. Free kick to Newcastle. This could be a goal, couldn't it? How many minutes of this game would we have to play for United to get a goal?
I don't know minutes. I can give you weeks. I think if we played continuously for 27 weeks...
Yeah, and fatigue wasn't an issue. These players are just playing at 100% the whole time.
Eventually, we might get a goal.
Yeah. Almost from one of those, like...
From an own goal.
Sort of physics phenomena, where the ball just appears and it's behind their goal. We were having a goal kick and it just goes... Doop, and it's there.
Yeah.
All the atoms in the ball just happen to go behind the net. Yeah.
Who's that?
Don't matter.
Hey.
Everyone's the same.
Is that little cherub Anthony again? Oh,
it
he's
doesn't
such
even
a
matter
scamp.
who it is. They're all the same. Rashford, Anthony, Mount, Bruno, Martial, Amrabat. They're all just the same player, aren't they? They can't pass. They can't tackle.
But the thing is, with some of those players you've seen, right? Or you've said, sorry. There's at least a part of me that thinks, Marcus, I've seen him score goals.
Oh, yeah.
Like Mason Mount, I've seen him win a Champions League. Bruno Fernandes, I've seen him break the record for the most goals from midfield in anyone has ever achieved in the Premier League over 2 seasons. With Anthony, and I know it sounds like I'm hating on him, I've not seen anything. He got 8 goals and 4 assists at Ajax. Whoop-de-doo. Do you know what I mean? I'd expect you to get a couple if you were playing in that team every week.
Yeah.
Like, it's just... And then you've got to look at the manager. You wanted him. You brought him in. Why? It's crazy, man. Even Mount, I know it's early doors, and I hate going on players this early in the United career, but you wanted him. You didn't want to wait 9 months till he was on a free. You wanted to spend 55 million quid on him and ignore the other areas on the pitch. Do you know what I mean? You didn't want to bring in another striker or another defender. You went, nah, we're going to spend this money on Mason Mount. Why? Because so far, he's been rubbish. And not only has he been rubbish, I don't even think you rate him that much. Honestly.
Yeah, that's the weird thing, isn't it? He doesn't seem to have found a formula for Mount to even play in.
Do you remember what he said?
Succeed.
He's going to have to adjust, or he's going to have to change his game a bit.
Yeah.
Why is he going to have to do that? Why are you buying him and asking him to do that? Do you know what I mean? That kind of went under the radar, that comment, didn't it?
Yeah.
But you think, well, why have you asked him to do that? That's not his style. That's not what he is. He's not a good player doing that. And people just sort of went with it, and I went with it because I thought, all right, he's got a plan for him. But that plan was nonsense, and he's already given up on it.
Christ. Tell you what, if Newcastle win this Carabao Cup, it's going to be one of the great runs of all time, isn't it? City and United have beaten the first two. Pretty impressive stuff, isn't it? They'll have Liverpool next, they'll beat them. Although actually West Ham have already beat Arsenal, so they fucked it there. Christ alive. The elusive 15-yard pass. No one's ever mastered it. Don't worry, Aaron.
Dear me. We will have the live review
Yes.
shortly. So stick around. How long's left?
4 minutes.
4 minutes. Scotty, do you want to come and give us your final thoughts? No. Come and swap with me. Go on, my man Single.
Yeah, you'll be taken to the review automatically after full time, so stay where you are. We've got a super chat from T-Man. Says, I like Højlund, could turn out good, but any club would make a big £70 million gamble with a player who's scored less than 30 professional goals. Well, you say that, but City did it. Chelsea did it with Mudryk. Liverpool, I suppose he didn't have less than 30 goals, but Darwin Núñez had one good season under his belt. Unfortunately, the fee of strikers in particular is absolutely stupid these days. So, yeah, I don't blame Højlund for this personally. I mean, this is awful, isn't it?
It's diabolical.
Yeah.
It's better than the first half, and that we've only conceded one, and that's the only thing I can really think that's a positive this half. I mean, they've pressed a lot better. There's a lot more energy as you'd expect. They've got better players on the pitch, but it's just been woeful. Absolutely no sort of idea around the box. Every time we've got through, if you look at the shots that Mount had, Bruno Fernandes, if we're playing rugby, we've probably been winning the game. So everything else has been going over the bar, being close to the goal. But yeah, it's just, when was the last time United conceded 3 goals back-to-back at Old Trafford?
Oh, well, I don't know. Surely we did that under, I don't know, Solskjaer by the end.
Yeah, well, we've scored a lot of time this season, though, haven't we? We've conceded 3 goals at home.
Yeah.
Galatasaray. You all right, Joe?
Not really. Ethan, what you got to say for yourself?
We're happy here. Us Newcastle
Oh, is that the Geordie corner, is it?
Yeah.
Geordie corner.
Up the tune and all that. Love a bit of Ant and Deck. Biker growth on her hair. What a cutie.
What a place.
Bring it on. Rudolitz, red and black army.
And them two will be in Piccadilly Gardens fountain by the end of this.
It's just unreal, isn't it?
I don't know where we go from here, because I don't think 12 o'clock on Saturday's an easy game either at Fulham.
No. So let's say, let's look at the let's look at the potential options here. One is stick it out. Obviously, we can imagine what that might be like.
Yep.
One is change the manager. Who would you bring in, and what confidence do you have that they will do any better? Over it, you know.
I heard you before when you were talking about getting rid of when we got rid of Van Gaal and Mourinho and sort of the pedigree that they came in the club and the reputation. And sometimes you just have to keep going until you get the right man. I mean, we went 26 years between Matt Busby and getting Sir Alex Ferguson, and we won cups along the way with the likes of Ron Atkinson. So if he's not the right man, then you've got to change it. But I don't know if there's too many people out there that I'd say will get the job. A lot of people are linking De Zerbi because he's doing some good stuff at Brighton, but is that really the sort of where we're going for that? Is he proven enough?
I wouldn't say so.
I wouldn't say. Oh, Potter was another name. I've just been
Potter now, or Potter when he left Brighton. Like, people would have Potter now?
Yeah, there was links with it. If Jim Ratcliffe takes over with his 25%, that Potter might come in. I just put a message out there on Twitter. People are dismissing it straight away. That Hansi Flick, who was manager of Bayern Munich, he's won the Champions League, Bundesliga.
Yeah, but didn't he end in sort of disgrace at Bayern? Anyway, we'll continue this conversation over the next few days, I'm sure. Manchester United 0, Newcastle 3. United are out of the Carabao Cup. Another 3-0 loss at home. We're going to be back in a few minutes with the review. Stay where you are. You'll automatically be taken to that review. So you don't have to do anything. Go and get a cup of tea. Go and have a cry in the garden. And we'll be back for the review. Thanks for coming on, Scotty, of course. Thank you, Ethan, as well, for not rubbing it in too much. We'll see, I suppose. But, yeah, well done. Thank you for joining us at home. Like I said, stay where we are. We're going to break this down. There's so much to get into, so stick around for the review. Manchester United 0, Newcastle United 3. See you in a bit.